We should have done that before. Go on, Dom, introduce us this week. I do it all the time.
It's just this week. Oh, okay. Okay, well, we're back, me and Chris. Week 3. We're now more consistent than my gym schedule. And we're here just to present the Uniball games. So, Chris, what we got coming up today, mate?
We've got some gems. We're not going to talk about the God's Division all day, but we are going to talk about everything going on today and some of the stuff that went on yesterday. So, in the Prem North Division, we've got the Leeds Griffins versus the Stirling Klansmen. Both teams currently sitting at 0-1. Well, actually, no, Klansmen 0-2. They need a win here. Leeds Beckett Carnegie versus Durham Saints. Swansea Titans versus Cardiff Cobras. Hull Sharks. Northumbria Mustangs in Borders 1. Northern 1. Sheffield Hallam Warriors versus Manchester Tyrants. The LJMU Fury versus the Derby Braves. Midlands 1. They're currently in their last 9 games. They have lost. The Cov Jets versus the Leicester Longhorns. And the Nottingham Trent Renegades versus Loughborough. Southwestern 1. Bath Killer Bees going up against the highly touted SGS Pride, the Southampton Stags versus the Reading Knights. Southern 1, Hertfordshire Hurricanes versus Sussex Saxons. But Southern 1, news in, Portsmouth Destroyers, Royal Holloway Bears has been postponed. Brunel Burners versus Imperial Immortals in the South Eastern 1. Now on to Division 2, Edinburgh Napier Knights versus Heriot Watts. And the Glasgow Tigers versus the Aberdeen Bulls. Sunderland Spartans have been awarded a walkover victory over the York St John Jaguars. Northern 2 of Bangor Mud Dogs versus the UClan Rams. Bradford Bears versus Aberystwyth Tyrannau. Midlands 2, God's Division. Huddersfield Hawks, Nottingham Green, DMU Lions versus the very crispy Staffordshire Stallions. Kiel Crusaders versus the Chester Legion. Southwestern 2, the UWE Pellets versus the Bournemouth Bobcats. The Gloucestershire Gladiators versus the Bath Spa Bulldogs. And the last game in that division, Worcester Royals versus Solent Redhawks, has been postponed.
Shocking.
Unbelievable. The Oxford Brooks Panthers versus the Winchester Silverbacks. The Oxford Lancers versus the Chichester Spitfires, while the UCL Emperors versus Brighton Panthers has also been postponed. Now, here we go. Now, this is one we'll get into later, but let's talk about South Eastern 2. The Kent Falcons versus the Greenwich Mariners. Now, we have some unconfirmed reports coming out of the other game in that division, which is Cambridge versus Canterbury. Now, that does not, unconfirmed as of yet, does not seem to be happening. It seems that Canterbury have stepped in for UCL. Apparently, what that means now is that what was going to be a home game for Canterbury against Cambridge is now an away game. They're going to Cambridge to face them. Hopefully, they've just flipped the fixtures around and they will meet UCL later on in the season. But that is what we have got going for you today. Hopefully, there will be
Okay. I think it's dropped out.
Yeah, yes, his connection's
Yes,
gone.
yeah. Oh, no.
another one.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Have I just been
Seb, your
talking that whole
connection's
time and
awful.
not been on?
Yeah, you've been gone.
Yeah, just only for like 30 seconds. I'll leave you.
Oh, okay.
We
That's
lost
right.
it. Lost it, mate. Yeah, you might want to backtrack a
Oh,
little bit.
let me finish. How annoying. No, nothing else is on my Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's strange.
What's going on?
Yeah, who knows, mate?
Seb, it's your
taking everything off
connection,
the
mate.
Wi-Fi.
That's what it is. Might be worth you dropping off and then coming back in.
Yeah, mate, you might want to just go up, just
Okay.
pay for a better internet, mate.
Yeah, go and kick your router.
Who is that? Don't kick my router.
Oh, router is
Oh.
it? Sorry. Anyway,
Yeah,
where
we're
did we
Mac.
get
We're
to?
Mac.
I just
I'm not
posted
sure.
this up. I just seen this on Instagram. It was 2 hours ago, so I've only just picked it up. But OBU versus Winchester Silverbacks games postponed. And it's a shame because like they literally posted like they were doing pre-game warm-ups. Both teams were out.
Okay,
Both
both out
teams.
out
Actually, I
warming
can
up.
only see one team, but I can't see any pictures of the Silverbacks, so I don't know whether it's that they couldn't arrive or whatever. I don't know what this reason is, but they've used the word postponed as opposed to
Cancelled.
cancelled or
Yeah,
whatever. But I don't know. There's no point getting into the semantics of it. It will probably be at some point that they that BUCS plays updated, and I'll let you guys know. But let's see if I'll bring Ted back in now that I've given that update. Oh, there he is.
There we go.
Ted, how's it going, mate? So your video looks better. So let's hope your audio doesn't cut out again. So
I don't know what's happening. Right, where have we got to? Have we done any news flash updates?
not yet, mate. So we were kind of waiting for you to come back. So we just did this little update that we got
Perfect.
of the OBU Panthers.
Unbelievable. Is that better? I can't tell.
Yeah, it seems a little bit better.
Oh, that's good enough for me. That is good enough for me, right? So, to go through who is out this week, James Simpson who was a ball person, is currently out for Nottingham Trent Renegades.
Oh, we spoke. Didn't we spoke about this last week when it was actually
We
he was given the ban, wasn't
did.
he? And yeah, and then he's out, but he's out for the actual game this week, which is just hilarious to me. I love a ball boy being banned from playing. It just seems daft.
It is good, isn't it? It is good. Is my audio all right?
Yeah, no, your audio's way better now, anyway. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, perfect.
Well, it's good for me.
Jake,
Jake, if you want to give us a comment on that, I appreciate that. But
yeah. Okay, and then we've got AG Woodine for the Liverpool Raptors is out for next week after a change of possession. 26 was observed to initiate a flagrant blindside block. The action was around the 30-yard line behind the return, and he had clear intent to punish. Tyrese Peters, number 51 for Kent Falcons, is out next week. 51, Tyrese Peters of the Kent Falcons in the third quarter. 51 ran a fake PAT attempt, ran 6-7 yards back towards zone end zone to make a violent impact on the player when the scrambling holder had already passed him. 51 then proceeded to celebrate over the player who was injured, and I decided to eject number 51 as the hit was flagrant. Those are the two who are out this week. Cool, thank you very much. Are the two players who are going to be out for next week, and then the one ball person who's out for this week.
what do you think about that? Well, about Tyrese Peters. What do you think about that penalty? It seems a bit. I mean, to say that he ran 6 or 7 yards back to his own end zone, like a violent impact. What? I don't even know what they mean by that. Seems.
Well, I mean, it does seem fairly flagrant. Any news? I'm looking at Steve here. Why UCL and Brighton Panthers is off today? Is it weather? Is it
UCL and Brighton Panthers? The Emperors. No, it was pitch. It was a pitch conditions, which is interesting because they didn't say waterlogged pitch. They said pitch conditions. So that could mean a number of things. But we'll find out. I'm going to keep an eye on BUCS Play for any up because they seem to update it live. So I'll look for any walkovers being logged in.
Right.
Being logged. But
hopefully we can break some bad news and some more head coaches this week.
Yeah. Well, he was right in the end. So just
was he? Okay.
Yeah. So it was an administrative error, but he to his knowledge, it was like that we're going to replay it. So someone had got that wrong at BUCS end and updated it. Anyway, that's what's happened with that game. It was a pitch related thing.
Okay, great. So.
Well, that's I mean, good reason. We'll wait. We'll see next week on the news flash. It's going to be like, oh, the pitch markings were slightly too short, and they
Or,
had no changing.
Maybe
had
there's
no
more dog shit
changing
on the
room.
pitch,
Mate,
Keep
that's
dogs
what
off
we
your
need in
pitch,
football.
everyone. That's what we need.
So we're going to quickly go through some of the Bafra news flash stuff that I found rather funny. Right, here we go. This is one for last week. Edinburgh Predators. This is lovely from Bafra. Crew was informed of no changing facilities prior to the game, but on arrival were given changing rooms. Game was played in good spirits, and the attitude from both teams was exemplary. 5 stars. 5 stars. Would recommend.
Yeah. That's what it seems like. They've sort of complained about being told that there were no changing facilities, but then they got some anyway.
Yeah,
like they
were
upset about that.
Yeah,
it's like, no, you told us you want any. Don't change your mind. Stick to your guns. Don't what the fuck's that?
But honestly, like, he's genuinely like just he might as well just TripAdvisor it, or would
yeah,
love to go back.
It's really good. Isn't it? It's a nice review. That nice short and sweet.
So basically, what I'm hearing is if you're a uni team and you've definitely 100% got head coaches, you got officials, locker rooms, tell them that you don't, and then when they turn up, they're like, a locker room.
Great.
5 stars.
This is way better than I expected. And
it's so much better.
They're going to be more lenient on penalties. You can have a great game.
And then what's the other one I've got? I've got Baths. I think we did this one last week, which I still really enjoy. Baths Bar Bulldogs. The down box stake broke. Chain crew were replaced at half time after they failed to stop cheering for their own team, which antagonised the opposition. Amazing. I think we did.
I don't think we did cover that, but that's fantastic. Yeah, I love that. I mean, you got to celebrate. If you're the chain crew, you're going to be a bit biased. It's Britball. Usually the chain crew, whoever is injured or not able to play on the day, or maybe it's just a friend of the team. To be fair, I'm like, so if they are going to cheer, just don't do it too much, I guess. But I love that they had to be removed. Love that.
It is good. I've never seen any chain. I've never heard of any chain crew getting removed. Obviously, I can understand that if they're in the opposing team's box, and then they're like, yeah, no, get them out of the game. Get them out of the game. But so to sort of switch to this week, we're going to talk about a game that happened yesterday, as per tradition. The Bullets beat the Birmingham. They didn't beat the Birmingham Lions. They thrashed the Birmingham Lions, and they managed to make Birmingham put up a big egg, which is especially surprising considering the beating that Birmingham gave to Swansea last week. So you have to look at it. You have to look at it like that is a game of like offensive spectacle, and to be fair, defensive spectacle as well, because the right guard for the Bullets seemed to be right on the money, allowing for the gaps. I mean, he's probably the only lineman I wish I could be, but not to harp on it too much. But does it make me jealous? Yes, it does. It does make me jealous. It makes me very jealous.
But so this was live streamed, this one, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
Yeah. And how was it? Was it? I mean, tell me like the highs and lows of the games, Chris. Give me a full rundown because I missed it.
Well, I don't know what you mean in terms of the highs and lows of the game. It was domination. It was domination, Dom. That's what it was.
To be fair.
It was. I imagine it was. Birmingham coming off of a really large victory. Forcing someone to not have any points all game, and then to have that done to themselves. Score of 52 to the Bullets over Birmingham. Not great, especially after Birmingham Park 41. Didn't quite get the old 50 burger. Unbelievable. But all that does mean for the Bullets is that that's the third one this season behind Staffordshire and Brunel. And if Brunel were first, well, put your scores in and then I'll be able to tell you.
Let us know.
Put it in. But Birmingham didn't. They had like a cut. They had good plays, but just a good play in moderation in football isn't enough. You need consistency, and that's what they didn't. They simply didn't have. And that's one of the things that that really separates Uniball from everything else is that sometimes you just can't be consistent because of the players you got on the team. Just to let everyone watching know, 14 games are kicking off in 5 minutes time. Hopefully we'll see the scores rolling. But and then this is a madness is that the Bullets beat Birmingham 46-14 in the previous season, so the 2019-2020 season. So what do you do when it's just a team that gives you a thrashing every year? How in your opinion, Dom, how do you get around something like that?
I mean, I don't know. At a certain point, you just sort of expect to go there and be battered, don't you? But I don't know. You wouldn't really expect it in this league either, because we spoke about it every week now. But teams change year after year. So if you look at a team that keeps beating you like this, you got to wonder why. What happens in these games? And I didn't see it. But
the thing is, Dom, is how do you sort of reconcile with your team after beating someone 41-0 the week previous?
Yeah.
And then the next week end up losing.
I couldn't imagine coming off that high, because you would be on a high at that point, thinking it's a quality score to put up, and then to go and get battered even worse is it's kind of devastating to your team's morale a bit, isn't it? It's sort of like a reality check to the team, isn't it?
How would you feel if you were Swansea? At some point, Swansea are going to have to play the Bullets.
Yeah, yeah. If I was Swansea, I'd be shitting myself. You know what I mean? I think you're having a fucking rough season, aren't you? Again, that was Swansea's first game, wasn't it? I believe
it certainly was.
Yeah. So maybe it was just first game jitters. Maybe they're going to come back this week if they're playing. I don't remember, but in the next game rather, and they're going to show us a different team. But who knows, man? But at the moment, if I was Swansea, I'd be kind of not looking forward to the next game against the Bullets.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you are there, if you've got a friend, who's at the game, ask your friend, ask them, what's the score? Keep us updated, because that's what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk about the scores. We are here to talk about the scores. Here we go. It seems to be that the Bullets are simply.
That's what we got. Yeah, thank you. We'll get that hashtag.
We found the one Swansea fan.
The one Swansea.
We found the one Swansea fan. But yeah, it's just this is what's great about Uniball, is that you can have stuff like this happen. Team destroys one week, next week melted, absolutely destroyed. But let's talk about the Prem North. We've got some teams that are struggling, and I'm looking at you, Sterling Clansman, specifically.
Oh, not the Clansman.
Scoring a total of 9 points this season. Nottingham Gold seem to be on top of the world, on top of the division. We can put in our very early predictions now. Is the Prem Championship game going to be Notts Gold versus the Bullets? I think so.
I think it's a bit early to call it.
It's week 3.
It is week 3. Yeah,
well, it is week 3.
Maybe because we don't know. Maybe the Lions have shut the bed. Really,
They very well could have done, but how can you come back from beating that sound? The one game that interests me in Prem North this week is the Leeds Griffins versus the Sterling Clansmen, because both of those teams are winless, and despite Sterling putting up some points, 3 last week, 6 the week before, Leeds did not score a single point in their derby game against Leeds Beckett's Carnegie last week. I think that's going to be a very interesting game, just based on the fact that both those teams need a win. Sterling need to prove that they can win a game and not just put up single digits. Because don't get me wrong, has it happened in this league so far this year where someone's won by single digits? Of course it has. But they both need to win. They both need to prove some domination. But this is what's interesting for me about Sterling. Obviously, Uniball changes. Players come, players go. That's fine. But 2019-2020 season, Sterling came second in the div because they won 5 of their last 8 games in the 2019-2020 season. It could just be that they are off to a slow start once again, but I think that's a very interesting statistic. 5 of their last 8. Dom, how do you think momentum plays a role in teams and their success? And can that momentum be gained through training or even through a loss? Obviously, because I'm not entirely sure that you can take any sort of positive away from a 47-3 loss.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to, but you still look at the small victories that you had within your individual position as a player. If you look at your film, if you did something well, there's always something you can, that's a positive. You could build on that. But mostly you can in a loss like that, you're going to see a lot of things probably where you went wrong, and you can rectify that easier. Then they always say you learn more in a loss than you do in a win. So hopefully maybe that's what it is. The Klansmen start off really slowly because they're figuring out all what's wrong by losing. Who knows?
Honestly, if that's a team strategy, that's an awful strategy.
That's their coaching method, mate. Right, boys, we're going to tank for the first 3 games, and then we're going to win our last 5. It's all good.
Yeah, boys, don't worry about it. Don't worry about winning. Just worry about having fun. Unbelievable.
Have fun for the first 3 games. We'll try the later half of the season, boys. Don't you worry.
Still win the div. That's how you get elite teams.
Mate, I want to see the Klansmen come back this year and win the div. That'd be fantastic.
Well, mate, that's what's going to happen for the Dolphins. So don't worry about it.
Oh, mate, yeah. This is the kickstart the Dolphins need, wasn't it? So, but yeah, in terms of what you said about momentum, I feel like with short seasons, like we got momentum. It plays a role, but it's not too big of an issue, I don't think. But just when you could get momentum going, your season ends. So, if you've had a bit of a shit start, that means you miss playoffs. You don't and you're done for until next year. So that's a bit one of the sad parts of Uniball, to be fair. But
yeah, like that's what you realistically want. You want to be able to play as much football as you can.
Yeah.
So and playoffs allow you for could be up to an extra 3 games. And that's what people really need to focus on. So let's have a quick one about BUCS South 1. Last week's Surrey 14, the Royal Holloway Bears 14, the first draw of the season. Now I was speaking to Rob Smith, who is he told me that his game went to overtime.
Oh no, right? That's not right. The game can't go to overtime.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. We were robbed from a.
I remember.
Yeah. Because we were told literally
that's
before.
Is that I was under the impression that That's what I heard. That's my thoughts. When he told me that he had an overtime game, I was like, in Uniball. Nah, we used to be able to go to overtime, but not anymore. So the first draw of the season, Royal Holloway Bears, Surrey, and then the Hertfordshire Hurricanes 6, Portsmouth 0. Now it's Portsmouth Surrey today, and the last game that was played between those two in the 2019-2020 season was 45-0 to Portsmouth. Now, I'm not sure. This is something that I've only got very brief experience on. What takeaways? How do you view a draw? Would you count that as, obviously you can't count it as a positive, can't really count it as a negative.
It depends on who you play, because I think like if you come away with against a really tough team who you've previously struggled with, and you get that draw, you can still take a lot of positives away from that. I mean, you never want a draw, and this game's not really designed to have draws, to be fair. That's why we have overtime, and then, you know what I mean? So, but, yeah, I think there are still a lot of positives you can take away from that draw, to be fair.
And then, this is what's interesting. Portsmouth only putting up 6 in a loss to the Hurricanes last week. Would you say it's now that it could be safe to say that the Portsmouth team has had a lot of people leave? Because obviously we don't know how it's going to look today, which is why we're here, obviously, because Portsmouth, Surrey last year, the season before, 45-0, and now not being able to beat Hearts, who only put up 6.
Yeah, I think just looking at that and the change in their scores from this year to last year, last year to this year, I think it is pretty safe to say they've lost a lot of players, and they probably are struggling with that rebuild, as you know you will do from year to year. So, I mean, but hopefully with the growth of American football, the populating in this country, there's a lot more people wanting to try it, more people trying to switch from like other full contact sports. Hopefully.
And more importantly, Dom, is that people want to play sports where they've got face masks on in COVID years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's poor.
Shut up. Honestly, mate, you're lucky I didn't lead this stream with my opening joke, which I think is too good to tell. I'll use it at the end.
We'll save it for next week.
I'll save it for the end.
Okay.
Oh, mate, I was, but I'm not sure if we'll get away with it. Well, maybe not the other one, but we'll see about that. So, in the Div 1 North Division last week, the LJMU Fury lost to the Manchester Tyrants 20-28. Sheffield Hallam, once again, much like Leeds Beckett, destroyed the Sheffield Sabres in their derby game 44-12. Hallam and the Tyrants, who are playing today, both got the same scoreline coming in. Going to be interesting to see if either of them can pull it off. Obviously, they're both coming off big wins, more Sheffield Hallam than the Tyrants. And Sheffield Sabres, once they're in the sort of Sterling Klansman category, sort of just need to, pull their finger out, get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together. Now, Dom, check Hootsuite for me. Tell me if there's any updates. We are 9 minutes in. Hopefully,
yeah, mate. There's literally nothing going, mate. No, it's pretty dry so far. There are no updates.
Well, to be fair, it's only been 9 minutes. It's only been 9 minutes, and these Uniball games. Let's be honest. These Uniball games, they probably haven't kicked off yet. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, there's always some weird delay. Ambulance hasn't turned up. You're still waiting for someone to show up.
Yes. So, Div 1 Borders, let's look at the scores last week. Northumbrian Mustangs.
By the way, Chris, sorry, before you continue, I don't think we actually discussed this. But the Winchester Silverbacks the bus didn't show up to take to the OBU game, which is so that's a bit rough, to be fair.
We've got our first one.
Look at
that. Now, the first score we get in, ladies and gentlemen, seems to have been a safety for the Gloucestershire Gladiators against the Bath Spa Bulldogs as they lead 2-0.
I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of... one thing I've noticed from doing this show for 3 weeks now, we see a few safeties every week, which is a bit wild because I don't think I've ever seen one. I've only seen one the entire 5 years that I've played football. So, yeah.
So there you go. Safety on special teams.
Special teams. Oh, interesting. Love it.
Even better. Well, that's the thing. It's the same with going for two. It seems to happen a lot more than we think. But obviously, we chalk that down to more teams not having goalposts.
Goalposts. Yeah, no, it definitely is. No, yeah, I don't.
then the coaches wanted to be a bit tricky.
Yeah, well, it also could be that no one has a kicker. Who knows?
But that's the thing is being a kicker is such a specialist position in football. To get one who's even half decent in Britball is.
So we've had a tweet sent to us by the Spitfires.
Chichester.
Yes, I believe so. So the late kickoff, they're on the bus down. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
yeah. So that's it.
Well, look, I was about to say, hopefully they're singing on the bus, but they're not. Do you know? Okay, so let me tell you something weird. So when I moved to the senior ball team that I'm at currently, that they were like, "Oh, someone said karaoke on the way there." I was like, "On the way there?
On the way there? That's not on. It's on the way back to embarrass rookies or lift the spirits of the team."
Yeah. Like, I've never heard of karaoke on the way there. Like, that's not. All right, Dom, what did you sing on the bus for the Lincoln Colonels? What did you sing on the bus?
God, it wasn't me, Shaggy, and I didn't know the words. But I was told, Dom, you go up there, you go sing Shaggy, mate. I was like, oh, okay. I got booed off very quickly.
God, I wish that there were teams. Anyone watching, when you played in Britball and you had to sing on the bus, tell me what your song was and tell me, did you get a standing performance? Did you get booed off? That's what I want to hear. Oh, we'll do karaoke stream.
We do a karaoke stream, yeah.
Karaoke stream.
At the end of the season. We'll do a karaoke stream.
Don't say that. Don't say that. We'll green screen a bus in behind us.
Yeah. That's what we need. Steve can join us tonight as well.
See, I don't remember what my first one was. I remember what my one was for Ouse Valley. It was 500 miles because you need one that gets the crowd going. But I specifically remember two I did for the Colonials, which was John Cena's entrance music was one of them, which I rapped because you would, wouldn't you? And then the other one was Shallow from A Star Is Born with me playing Lady Gaga and our friend Maris playing Bradley Cooper.
Love that. That's fantastic.
And when it hit the high note, me and Maris got booed off the stage because
I completely
not good.
Understand why.
and we blamed that solely on the fact that we hadn't warmed up our vocal cords and the bus's air was dry.
No,
so
do you know what?
Oh,
it sounds like a valid excuse, but
here we go. Jake's got a good one. It must have. That was it. Jake, tell me, did you get booed off? Did you get a standing applause?
Yeah.
What was?
It's a good one though. Everyone knows that song.
I remember on the Colonials we had the Dolmio rating. Whether or not you did well or not. Yeah, and then we had. And Don, were you there when the O-line coach? See, that's what I like to hear, Jake. There you go. He got it. He got it in one. He got it in one.
It comes down to choice of song. If people can sing along with it, you're not being booed off.
That's it. Oh, so I'll tell you one. So we had an Irish guy on the team for Ouse Valley, and his song was "Come Out Ye Black and Tans." Unbelievable. Very, very funny. Very, I don't even
know if I can know what that song is.
Basically, it's a pro-IRA song, Dom.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I'm not sure if Dom, you were there when the O-line coach for the Colonials sang "Man's Not Hot."
No, I was there for that. Yeah.
Yep, very good, very good. Amazing. I love you, Toby, but you're a very white man, and you shouldn't have been singing that song. So let's get back to talking about the games. Div 1 Borders last week. Northumbria Mustangs 0, Newcastle 25, and then the Hull Sharks 8, York 0. York, despite the fact of having a very good Twitter, don't seem to be able to convert it to the pitch.
Tell you what, employ the person who does your Twitter as your head coach. Maybe you get somewhere. You know?
Yeah, because that's how it works. That's how it works.
That's how it works.
Good memes.
Because-
You get in. You get in. York and Northumbria are playing this week, and the last meeting between those, Hull 14, Northumbria 6. Now it seems to me that hopefully Hull can, put on a bit more of a
you
show.
said, I'm confused. You've lost me. You said Hull, but do you mean York?
No.
No, you're talking about York. We're talking about York a second ago. I've lost.
Yeah, no, yeah, they're both in the same division, Dom.
Okay, right.
I'm
I thought we were talking about York's last game with him. Okay, I've completely lost. I zoned up for a second. That was it. Gone.
No, Hull faced York last week and won 8-0. And
Yes,
then in the last season, Hull beat Northumbria, who they've got this week, 14-6.
Now this makes sense to me. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for clarifying.
You're a gremlin, mate. You should sing a song.
I really am a liability. Maybe at the end of the stream, I'll sing us a song.
Nice. There you go. Everyone, I can't believe we're going to have no viewers for that, because they'll hear your voice and they will all be gone.
Yeah. Especially down this condensed microphone.
Here we go. And just as I was talking about it, we've got a score update. The Hull Sharks.
Look at that.
Have conceded their first points of the season to the Northumbria Mustangs, as Northumbria 6 PAT currently pending. Interesting.
A real question, Chris, here. Goalposts or no goalposts?
Well, if it's the PAT pending, I'm going to go with goalposts.
You're going to go goalposts because that's a choice this time.
I'm going to go with goalposts, yeah.
It's PAT pending because they're taking a little while to actually do the 2-point conversion. Who knows?
Well,
we're going to find out. I'm
going to say that I think that they've got goalposts. Oh, that's what I'm going to go with. I've got a feeling.
This is Div 1 football, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, you'd hope a Div 1 team has football. It has goalposts, wouldn't you?
I'd also hope they have footballs as well, Dom.
Well,
God, imagine. It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm pretty sure we saw a game report where each team only bought one ball though. Before, to be fair,
there are a few game reports where it's like some teams tried to hit the other team with the Tom Brady balls weren't inflated enough.
Good old Deflategate, yeah, love that.
Good old Deflategate. So Div 1 Midlands, this is going to be one of the key stories going into. No, don't put swear words on the stream. No, I'm joking.
Censor it. Quick, censor it.
It's a good kit. Oh, just a simple white and black kit. There you go. Kurt Cameron even putting up a big deal there. So in the Div 1 Midlands, not the Div 2 Midlands, the Div 1 Midlands, there's a story that I think is going to progress throughout the season, and I think it's very interesting. Cov Jets. Now they were in the Prem. They've currently lost their last 9 games. Last week they lost 7-0 to Warwick. So me and Dom have been on teams where we have lost the entire season.
Yeah.
So how do you come back from that and then go into a loss? How would you deal with it as a head coach and a player, losing your last 9 and being relegated? Like I'm sure, I've got no frame of reference in this particular thing, because that's like L on top of L on top of L.
I mean, I thought you'd be used to that because you're a Dolphins fan.
Oh, don't you start. You can't talk to me about not being a Dolphins fan. Why do you think I've got all this on, mate? It's because Dolphins Ravens. Do you know my favourite time of day is? My favourite minute. It's 10 past 10 at night. Do you know why?
Okay. Well, yeah, tell me.
Because it's 22-10, and that score just reminds me of the of what happened on Thursday. Unbelievable.
Fuck you, man. I hate
Unbelievable,
that.
Mate. Oh, mate, honestly,
I think
it's my favourite time of day.
Like, if our teams keep going the way they're going, if there's one game win streak that we're on, for each of us.
We're on a 2-game
Sorry,
now.
it actually is 2 for the Broncos as well. We beat Washington there the week before. But, we're going to change this. This is going to be the Broncos Dolphins show. Scrap off Game Day Live.
Mate, Broncos Dolphins AFC Championship game. You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
So, keeping up with the Div 1 Midlands, sorry. Loughborough's last game or last score was 26-24, and the last meeting between Loughborough and Nottingham Trent. Oh my God, I'm just talking about it. Oh, amazing!
Every time we've spoken about a score, like a team so far, their scores just rolled in.
Amazing. So the last meeting of the Nottingham Trent Renegades in Loughborough was 6-0 to Loughborough, and now right now it's Nottingham Trent with 6, Loughborough 0. Running back Kai with a cheeky little touchdown there to put the score. Imagine if it stays like that all the time. Give him a little bit of payback. Put the defense on. Defense only from now on.
They're going to miss the field goal, and they're not going to score any more points in the rest of the game. Make it
field goal.
A revenge game. Yeah. Field goal. PHA,
revenge game.
One of it.
So in the Div 1 at South East last week, the Brunel Burners put up the second 50 burger. Don't tell me it was the first. Put your scores in and then it will be the first. They put up 50, exactly a 50 burger against QMBL. And Imperial got a walkover victory over ARU. Now, last meeting, Imperial lost by 6 to QMBL, which is the game that is going on today for that division. Going on to BUCS Southwest last week. Bristol 2, Bath 6, Exeter 41, Reading 0, and SGS Pride 42, Southampton 6. I won't lie, after hearing everyone speak about the SGS Pride, I thought that would be higher. A lot higher.
Well, it's still a good win regardless. It's all right.
It's still a good win, but from the way people were talking about it, I was expecting
you expected like a one-sided victory.
Triple digits. Oh my Lord. It's coming back around. The game we were just talking about, Nottingham Trent Renegades, is now 6. Loughborough Uni have scored a defensive safety, as they've now up on the board with 2. So here we go. So for the BUCS Southwestern, your Southampton and Reading today, they are 0-1. And the SGS Pride and the Bath Bulldogs are 1-0. Someone's always got to go. It'll be interesting to see what Bath can do. You have to. Oh, we've got a cheeky little. God, that's a good camera angle. I wish the NFL had camera angles like that. Let's see. Oh, I want to watch this. Very, very straight in there. He loves it. A little bit of top knot from a coach there. That's how you know a coach is good. Got a good haircut.
Oh, you say top knot's a good haircut, would you?
Well, I used to have one. So
yeah, exactly. So
all right, mate. I'm sorry that, mate. Your hairline's atrocious, mate. Don't talk to me.
We discovered this last week. It actually isn't bad. It's fine.
Awful. Yeah, that's what I said.
Shut your mouth. Strongest hairline in Britball, mate.
That's not true at all, mate. Mate, honestly, your hairline is like the Lee Miners defense, mate.
Oh, always going back.
Honestly, mate, I still think about that joke at the Slate Cup. Lee Miners.
Oh, yeah.
Not fucking unbelievable. That makes me so sad. Now here's the so Bath last week only allowed 2 points against them, and now this week they're going up against SGS Pride. Oh, see, these are the stats that these are the updates that I like. Just punter, a good punter is, I mean, well, okay, Dom, how important would you say the punter is? Is it underrated? And why is the answer yes?
Well, it's the answer is yes, because kicking to people too. Okay, but
give me a more detailed answer than that.
What do you want from me? No, I mean, to be honest, I've seen a lot of awful punts where it's gone sky high but nowhere.
Yeah,
and it just puts you in a shit position, doesn't it? Like if your offense struggled to move the ball in the first place, and then you can't even punt the ball away, you're fucked.
That's it. It's because football or soccer is so readily available at uni. All the people who are really good at kicking are normally playing that than playing American football. So all the people that you need to have a really solid boot are probably playing football because we live in England and that's just how it works. Oh my lord. Sterling
Hold on
Klansmen
a minute.
Sterling Klansmen have almost doubled their score total for this year against the Leeds Griffins. It's quarter two. Sterling Klansmen 8, Leeds Griffins 0.
Loving the Klansmen right now. They are my pick to win the division.
You are an idiot.
No, I told you, mate. They've learned by their losses, and now this is the step they need.
Is that because you heard my one stat that they won their last?
Yeah. And I'm now fully sold on it. You said that, and I'm going head first. I'm believing it.
So in the Div 2 North last week, Bangor Mud Dogs 0, Liverpool 35. And then Bradford 18, Edge Hill 6. The last meeting between Bradford and Aberystwyth was 16-2. Another cheeky little safety there. You love a good safety. And then Borders 2 last week, Sunderland 40, 12, UWS Pyros. With a win today, the Glasgow Uni Tigers top the division. Now, Dom, how does it, this early in the season, how good must it feel to top the division? You've got the run of it. You can, basically, the entire landscape of your season rests solely on your shoulders, not on the shoulders of any other team, winning or losing.
It's a great feeling, to be fair. But especially with something that's so short, so like you start off really well to go, and you stay, and by week 3 you're still top of the division. Odds are you're more likely to make playoffs than not. In my opinion, to be honest. I mean, you always hate those games where we need these people to lose and us to win for to go for it. You don't want to wait on that. So having that, like you said, it's literally on their shoulders. The rest.
I do remember first year in Lincoln when we made the playoffs. I remember finding out by being in walkabout and someone told me, "Oh, we've got training on Monday." What? Why? Oh, I think Leicester beat someone. It's like, oh, what? We're in the playoffs. It's like, yeah. Oh, okay.
That's right.
Because we didn't think we made the playoffs, so we had 2 weeks off.
Yeah. And then we lost by a field goal.
Speaking of losing by a field goal, it is the Edinburgh Napier Knights' first game, and Edinburgh Napier Knights were the opponents that we faced when the Lincoln Colonials made the playoffs. So
like that was planned, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. We're very good at this. If I'll talk about another team, and they'll probably come up. So South Division 2, Brighton 20, OBU 14 for last week, Kingston 14, Chichester 0 last week, Oxford. Oh no, it's not even, because the Winchester game has not been called off. So the Winchester Silverbacks still yet to play a game. They won't be playing this week due to a coach simply not turning up. Last meetings between Oxford and Chichester. Oxford 18, Chichester 12. We've been told that the Chichester Spitfires are on the bus, and the Brighton Panthers, who are playing today, they will top the div with a victory today. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time for the last week review of God's Division. Thank you, Dom.
Before we start, Chris, so we have just had a tweet. I say just had a tweet. Swansea Titans, warm-up's underway, so they're getting ready to play.
Very good.
I thought they were already meant to be playing, but
as I've said, it's Britball.
It's Britball. Okay.
So into the review of BUCS Midlands 2. Staffordshire thrashed the Huddersfield Hawks 60-12, putting up the first 50 burger. As far as I'm concerned, in Div 2, you've got to look at Staffordshire as a top team right now. Chester lost 36 to Notts Green. Nottingham pulling out both wins last week. And Chester, doing well. You can't deny that. But this week, Chester have got Kiel. Kiel. We can't do that meme. We can't do that meme because no one will understand it.
No one will understand. But I'll have a good laugh about it, so it's fine.
Only like 10 people understand it if we do the Kiel joke. Chester have got Kiel this week. The last meeting between Chester and Kiel. Chester 33, Kiel 13. Now, what is interesting about these in Midlands 2 is that the DMU Lions are playing today, and so are Kiel, and it is their first games of the season. Now, that just leaves one team to have not played this season for Midlands 2. That is the Lincoln Colonials. That is mine and Dom's Lincoln Colonials.
Beloved Lincoln Colonials.
So there was, because I think it's a disadvantage personally for a team to not play for 3 weeks while all the other teams have at least got 1 or 2 games under their belt. Lincoln Colonials playing next week against Nottingham, and I can't believe this is what I was told, 10 a.m. kickoff.
10 a.m. Oh, dirt. Is that a home or away game for Lincoln?
It's an away game. It's an away game for Lincoln.
Oh, that's a disadvantage just in itself.
It's not great. But what are your thoughts on a team not playing versus teams who have already played 1 game or multiple games?
I mean, so while having all this time in training is great, you can sort out whatever you want, but it's in the games where you see the real problems, and experience in that you're gonna have. It's in my opinion way more beneficial than actually just having a few weeks extra training. So although Lincoln come against a team that would be 0-2, but I reckon they still have a harder time because they've had a lot more game experience than this new Lincoln Colonials. So it is a bit of a disadvantage, but who knows, man? Maybe that extra training has actually done them well. Who knows? We haven't been there.
But that's it. It's obviously like the Colonials have. They've had time. They've had a lot more time to sort of recover, But then going into a 10 a.m. Especially a first game for some of these people playing, first game 10 a.m. kickoff away, waking up maybe 7:30, maybe 7.
Yeah.
To get breakfast.
Well, you got to be there. You got to be there early because it's not just show up and play. You got that. You got warm ups. You got card check. It's a lot. So you're gonna have to be there really early. So to go for an away game, it's because Nottingham's about an hour and a half drive from Lincoln. So yeah, they're getting up early for that one, and that's a bit of a disadvantage in itself, to be honest.
So let's quickly go back to the Bullets game yesterday. They had a guy, Brian Peavy, playing for them. Let's talk about him. Yeah, guess where he was? He was on the Arizona Cardinals practice squads. Now this is it. Should there be a control on imports? Should people should you be able to be like, oh Christ, he's a bit good, maybe not, or is it just if he's here to get a degree, and and if he's got a scholarship, right, fair to him, but is that just simply a bit overpowered?
I mean, it might be, but it's not just a one-man team, though. You know what I mean? Like, sure, he probably helped a lot, and he's probably outclassed a lot of the players there. But I'm saying let him play. Look at the draw. Look at this guy chose to come to you guys and still wants to play some standard of American football. So good, use them.
I can definitely say, like, people who come over from that side of the globe. I remember being in recruiting for the Colonials, and there were Americans who were over who played like Div 2 out there, which obviously Div 2 out there is a lot different to Div 2 over here, and they were just like, no, I'm sick of playing football. I'm not here to play American football. You know what I mean? So I think it's Dom's right. It's a one-man team, but obviously having someone like that on side probably also raises the standard of coaching as well as the standard of play.
Oh, definitely. imagine he's being a coach. He's being like a player coach. He's helping out with a lot of drills, giving good coaching tips to all the guys around him, and that just being in the team, you're gonna build a good culture around that. So,
and especially because you look at that gets out, people are going to be more drawn to come to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Huey. So we got a score update. Nottingham Trent Renegade 6, Loughborough Uni 8. Very short lead there for Nottingham Trent. Loughborough scored a safety, and now Henry Rowland in for the touchdown. Anything on the tweets, Dom, before I start talking about...
There is absolutely nothing. If you guys know anything, tweet us. You got any scores? Send it to us, and via the send it, put in the chat. We'll pin you. But yeah, it's anything you want to send us, do it, and we'll probably talk about it. Twitter, Instagram, we'll probably find it.
Apparently, our man in the booth has got something from Brunel. Love a bit of Brunel. Brunel, who put up 50 last week. Oh, that's rough.
Oh no!
That's just great.
Nowhere.
That's a great. That's just great. That's just great coverage. That's just great reading a play there from Brunel.
Also, that pitch looks dreadful. Just want to say.
Sorry, mate. Are you a ref now?
Yeah, mate. The lines aren't very clear, and they didn't give me any.
There's no changing rooms. So, BUCS Div 2 Southwest last week. Canterbury and Cambridge walk over. No, that's not right. Kent 29, City 0. City are now 1-1. KCL 12, the Greenwich Mariners 8. God, I love it. I really do enjoy the Mariners name. And now the guy who made that tackle for Brunel is part of the NFL Academy. Surprised?
Oh.
Not even slightly. Just good play recognition completely there. The Div 2 Southwest last week, Bournemouth 28, Plymouth 6, Solent 22, Gloucestershire 14. We already know that Gloucestershire are currently up. This week is the Pellets' first game, so obviously we've been speaking about the Bullets quite a lot. Obviously having someone on side like Mr. Peavy will hopefully raise a standard for the Pellets as well. Because in their last meeting with Bournemouth, it was 33-6 to Bournemouth. So, do you think that a player with that experience can translate his probably quite complex knowledge of the game to relatively new people who are playing for the Pellets as opposed to the Bullets? Or is it just, or do you need to start at a very basic grassroots level and then build them up into sort of understanding football? Because I still speak to people now and they're like, I've been playing for 5, 6, 7 years, and they're like, I still don't understand the game.
Yeah, I feel like it is it's one of those sports where it's a lot to learn. There's a lot of different rules to start off with. So him coming in with a lot of experience trying to translate that may be a bit of difficulty. But yeah, if you can find a way to get a good balance between, making it, to dumb it down in a way, make it useful for the guys.
Barney style it for him.
Yeah, literally, yeah. So if he dumbs it down, there's a lot of good experience you can share with his team. So
because I'll put it to this: I know a guy. He's got a Ravens tattoo from when they won the Super Bowl, and he was watching the Dolphins-Ravens game, and he's like, "Well, what do you mean offensive lineman can't score a touchdown?" It's like, yeah, we're not eligible. Like, would you how could you have a tattoo regarding American football but not know that linemen aren't eligible?
Well,
do you see
what
that?
Position does he play?
He doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh,
No,
I thought you
he
just.
doesn't.
I assumed he played. Oh, okay. As I say, it'd be
Yeah,
even better if he was a
you'd
lineman
think so.
himself. Like.
You'd think so. No, we're fully aware we can't score because that's the worst part about being a lineman. That's the worst part about being a lineman.
You can declare eligibility though, can't you? So
Not if you can, but if you're going to declare someone like me who's a guard, you're an idiot. Because the only time the guard gets the ball is if the play has fully broken down, much like in the Dolphins-Ravens game. There was talks of a tackle screen when I was playing left tackle, but they never implemented it. So
waste opportunity, I say.
Realistically, are my hands any good? No. So you have lineman gloves? Are they sticky? Are they wide receiver sticky? No, they're not.
I'm not actually inspected lineman gloves, to be fair, so I wouldn't know.
All right, Dom. Okay, this is an interesting one. So, in terms of new players, what would you say like the most underrated piece of kit to invest some money in is? Because obviously, like we've got pads and the helmet. They'll be given to you probably, I imagine.
Yeah.
Unless you've played before. But what do you think? What do you think is something that people overlook? I mean,
mate,
I'll speak from experience. I'll speak from experience here. This is, something that I struggled with now. Even at the Slate Cup, I realised it. My lowers are far too baggy.
Yeah.
Are far too baggy, and it limits my movement. So like getting investing in a good pair of lowers. Don't get like the cheap ones. Realistically, if you're going to be smart, get a girdle for God's sake. I do.
You've upset me, to be fair, Chris, because the piece of kit that I was going to say was a girdle.
Sorry.
It's right, because obviously it means that we're both thinking on the same line. But yeah, like honestly, I always for like all my whole uni career, I just use like the pads that you slot in, mate. First of all, they're a hassle, they're not comfortable, and they're just a bit shit. But a girdle, it's a dream. It's a dream.
But that's it. It's like it eliminates all the problems of like your tail pad flipping up. You don't have to worry about that. It's sticking out. The ref coming and shouting at you that your knee pads aren't in. Don't have to worry about that. It's just in.
Right. Yeah, I think girdle is one thing that if you have a bit of spare money, get one. Get a good one. I have the Nike Pro one, and it's fantastic.
So this is an interesting one. This is one that I simply don't have any experience on. How important are a good pair of receiver gloves?
To be fair, here's the thing. I found one pair that I liked 3 years ago, and I just keep buying the same pair, and they don't even make them anymore. But they like places like Football America have like a back stock of them that they sell for like 30 quid. So I get a new pair every year. I'm gonna be really upset when they don't come. But I personally wear so it's Nike Vapor Jet 3. I just like how tight they are on my hands, and it just feels good. But I feel like with gloves, it just comes down to preference, to be honest.
But do you think that getting a good pair of receiver gloves for that position definitely is vital, or do you think you can get a cheaper pair of gloves and feel?
Yeah, I mean, in reality, you should always be able to catch about the gloves. You don't use the gloves to catch; they just assist when you need it. So, yeah, I mean, they're not vital. I mean, when I first started, I had like a cheap pair that really didn't have much stick on them at all. Just learn how to catch properly. Don't rely on your gloves. Easy. So
that's actually a good answer, Dom. I'm surprised. Now, like I know people they've invested in their American football journey a fair bit. They've got, they're still at uni. They've got the speed flexes. They've bought their own pads. They've bought cleats as well, because it is a struggle to. Sometimes it's a struggle to play in normal football boots. They don't offer you the ankle protection that you realistically need. Like even something silly like Slate Cup. Someone just they didn't cleat me, but they just accidentally knocked their they just knocked their cleat into my the ball of my ankle, and it absolutely killed. This was the first drive. And I had to limp off the pitch first drive, looking like a right loser. You know.
And you made a chocolate as well, mate. So like, you know what I mean? Like, you
yeah,
nearly out for the game.
I was nearly out for the entire Canadian rules football season with that one smash of my ankle. I was almost done. Oh, I was simply almost done, but I came back. I lived. Let's see if there's anything on here that is going to update us on any particular scores. No, there isn't. How shocking!
This is. I've never seen so many games being played, and yet nothing being updated. It's crazy.
Give me York Centurions. Oh, this is in God's division. We have got a slight update. Nothing has been confirmed. The game between the Huddersfield Hawks and Nottingham Green has been awarded a walkover to Nottingham. Not confirmed. Realistically, I'm not sure what the status of that game is. Not sure why we're getting that report in. But realistically, I had that game down as a Nottingham Green victory.
Yeah, I think I was going to give that to Nottingham
anyway.
as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
So, out of interest, Chris, going back to kit, especially at uni where times are tough. What's one bit of kit that you bought, which then after a few weeks you thought, oh, I have to live on noodles for the rest of the year now? And like, what?
God, I feel like that's an easy one. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing like the feeling of owning your own pads, your own shoulder pads. Because you can have faith that you've got a pair of pads that weren't purchased in that weren't purchased in like 2001, and they're all rusty. So walkover has been confirmed on BUCS Play. Still no reason why. That gives Nottingham Green. Nottingham Green are now leading the Midlands Div 2 with a victory over Huddersfield Hawks. Obviously, Huddersfield.
We're going to get a.
Sorry,
we're going to get a tweet later. We're going to get a tweet later saying from Huddersfield saying we're on the bus down. What are you talking about?
Yeah, great.
Break more walkover news.
No, I imagine they got to like Burger King and they decided to stay there. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm joking. I'm joking. Huddersfield. So the thing is with where BUCS differentiates itself from the senior league is that when it comes to postponements and walkovers, they don't mess around. They don't allow it. If a game's been postponed and it isn't rectified in a quick manner, BUCS just say, "Nah, that's a walkover win." They don't mess around. For a walkover, it is a 2-point deduction. So even if you can top the leaderboard, having a 2-point deduction against you, maybe multiple, can fully destroy your season. Nottingham Trent versus Loughborough. Loughborough have pulled away even further, 15-6. Henry Rowland coming in hot with his second touchdown of the day, really putting the last year's score to shame. Both teams have scored. Both teams are looking good. You have to look at it. I believe it was Nottingham Trent who came away with the victory. No, it was Loughborough came with the victory last time.
Loughborough won 6-0, didn't they? Yeah.
By 6. How can you remember that? But I've got it written down. I've got too many pages. I need like
you got. I'm just remembering what you tell me. Like you've got like a lot of information everywhere. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
All right, Dom. What was a piece of kit which you found vital, but living on bachelor's chicken and herb noodles for the rest of the year?
Yeah, it literally was that bad as well. Yeah, it literally is the same. I went to so I bought shoulder pads, and at the time I ordered from Football America a pair for £200, or actually no, 150 I think they were. I was like, they'll do for my season, great, and they're gonna be better than the ones I had, because the ones I had, they ended about just below below the Nike sign. They weren't safe for me to use at all. And and then these ones didn't fit either, but they didn't have them in my size. So I went to Football America with good old Brandon Dobson, and I got convinced by the salesman in the store to buy a pair of pads for 350 quid, and that was. The way the logic was, that's right, because if you give us these pads back, you're only really spending 200. I was like, yeah, that makes complete sense to me. No, bad idea.
You're an idiot. That's what I've gathered from that.
Yeah, I got now. Honestly though, best pads I've ever worn. They're so comfortable.
Oh, okay.
You don't feel a thing. So, and I still use them now, so it's good. But
well, okay. Well, that's just put in for the end because I said this to Steve at the Slate Cup. I bought a helmet last year, Zenith X2E.
Mhm.
Thank you, Football America. And honestly, it's including all the hats I own. It's the most comfortable piece of headwear that I own. I'd wear it to work if they'd let me, but they don't because they're rude and they won't let me wear a football helmet to work.
It may deter customers from coming to you.
Good. Good. That's what people want. They want a Guinness poured by, well, a face mask, mate, keeping COVID safe. Unbelievable. That's the second time I've made that joke today. And
well,
I'm going to keep going with it.
Comedy works in threes, mate, so you can make it one more time.
Brilliant. Thanks. I'm getting comedic it's from you. Unbelievable.
Yeah, there was.
Funniest guy alive. Let's look in at the Twitters. Let's see if anyone has given us any updates. Apart from, Swansea telling us that warm-ups are underway. Not much.
That is, yeah.
Not much going on. I've gone through all of this.
Yeah, it's going to be another waffle session for me and you, mate, while we wait for some scores to come in. I know Steve's working away hard.
So do you... Okay, so this is an interesting one. Obviously, with Uniball, the percentage of people who come in have never played. Obviously, they don't own any kit. Do you think that the opportunity for them to play is worth giving them? I'm sure that don't get me wrong, I'm sure all of the shoulder pads and helmets have been tested, but sometimes when you take a look at them, you wouldn't believe it for a second. Do you think
I've seen some of the helmets the Colonials give out? That's concussion. That's a concussion if you just wear it, mate.
Do you think that like having kit that is not particularly fantastic is worth being able to implement more players? Because I'm sure that everything is. I'm sure that all of the pads and helmets that unis give out are tested, and all of that health and safety stuff. But some of them are very suspect, and I'm sure that if people are watching who have played in Uniball, could just tell us about the condition of some of the kit that they've had. But do you think that like that's fine just to give people more opportunities?
I mean,
because obviously, like we don't in Uniball, they don't hit as hard as the NFL. You don't necessarily see helmets go flying off and people being laid out, but it does happen. It's still a contact game at the end of the day. Do you think that is worth it to give out?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Because you're just trying to get as many people the opportunity to play. To be fair, so their kit may not be the best, but it's better than them spending a couple £100 and living off noodles like we did. Alternatively, I know there's a guy who started playing for Shropshire this year. He could have happily rented kit from them. They have a lot more better kit than a lot of unis do, but he was like, nah. Let me spend like nearly £1,000 on football kit, which he did, and he thinks that's way more beneficial. But it was a big risk to take for a sport you might not like. So,
but that's it, especially in first year. Like I only started buying my own kit apart from gloves and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. I bought them when I realised that I do want to continue to do this after university. I want to play a lot more. So like I can understand in first year and second year. But third year, if it's something that you decide you want to do, if you want to go and play for your local senior team, go and get some. Because I know it sounds silly and it's just very materialistic. There's nothing like having your own pads. There's nothing like having your own helmet. I need to buy some new gloves. If any linemen in the chat, recommend me some gloves. Because hopefully when I go out to America, because I just assume that in every like American sport, their version of Sports Direct, instead of having like some football stuff, they've just got like rows and rows of gloves and
I mean,
and all that nonsense.
The dream that would be, but I don't know. Maybe it is. You just walk into
so.
Whatever. What is that? What is their sport and goods store?
Dick's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I reckon. To be fair, that's probably just a big department store, isn't it? You ever been to one, Chris?
No, I haven't. I didn't go last time I was out.
Oh, mate. Next time
I haven't.
You need to go.
Next time I go, mate. I'm gonna make sure I leave enough space in my bag for a pair of size 12 cleats.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because you get like extortion over it.
Yeah, and the selection's poor as well.
It really is.
The selection's awful out here as well.
But I'm not paying for shipping. It's a joke.
I'm not paying for shipping for some. The problem is that, like, as a lineman, you can't really wear the Nike Air Max cleats, really. Even though you want to. But you know that like, you have to sort of, how many linemen know who are just flash? None. None. I want to be the first flash lineman. No, because people be like, what are you doing?
Listen, mate, you'll be a trendsetter, mate. You will make revolution. Make revolutionary changes to this game.
I'll be the Dion Saunders of the
mate, of Britball, yeah,
of the Britball O-line world. We have got a score update, ladies and gentlemen. The Gloucestershire Gladiators 2, Bath Bulldogs 8. Bath coming back after a little bit of a hiccup at the start with the safety. Safeties put you in a position to do anything. However, that sort of has been negated by the fact that Bath Spa have obviously decided to go for 2 on their PAT. So Gloucestershire just need a touchdown to sort of get themselves back in the game and also give themselves an opportunity to go for that extra 2 points. Even if it fails, you're still in the game. You've still drawn it. It's fine. It's fine. So this week on Dom, what was your best memory from the coach while playing at uni? Not a coach, the coach.
Not a coach. Ah, okay. What, mate? I'll tell you what. It's that time we're on our way to a game. It's early, and I think I don't remember who it was. It's me, Maris, and I think it's maybe Jacob Ensworth, maybe. All playing PUBG Mobile, just getting some chicken dinners, mate. And we went on to lose that game. But at least you want some chicken dinners, mate. So.
I do remember that.
So we pulled in a service station, and I sat in a massage chair, and someone just came over and put a quinlet for me. I was like, oh, thanks.
Nice.
Great.
Nice. Now I'm going to go with my favourite one. It was Masters year. It could have been I believe it was Huddersfield away because they moved to a new pitch, and it was chucking it down with rain up there. And this coach was going through quite a large body of water, and we were all leaning out the window, and someone put on the Pirates of the Caribbean theme. As we're going through it, that was great. And then obviously that morphed into Titanic, and but yeah, that was a good away one. But obviously just singing on the coach, unfortunately, because the nature of Uniball, there's a lot of things that happen on the coach that we simply can't tell you about because that is
I don't know what you mean.
Private and confidential. They will only be memories, and they will not be spoken on a public platform. And I'm sure it's the same for most teams. But
Did you,
a lot of.
So So with Ouse Valley this year, you went on a coach with Ouse Valley.
Yes.
That seems kind of wild because we just did like carpools to every game this year with the Rev. But I'm interested. Did you get made to do any sort of like a rookie initiation this year?
Apart from karaoke, nothing else.
Nothing else. Oh, okay.
No, me and a couple of friends, we instituted away day outfits.
I like that.
Which are the Hawaiian shirt, and then obviously I went with the full blue suit,
the
cowboy hat.
Yeah, the white cowboy hat to be more specific.
A white cowboy hat, So that's really it. Nothing too bad. No, nothing too bad. Just singing on the coach. It's not like Uniball. But I'm still waiting on awards like Ouse Valley, Nick Bennin, who might be watching. Sort out awards night for God's sake. I'm not going to win any, but come on, man. Like most of us were there for the Slate Cup. We could have just done it that weekend, for God's sake. But I'll tell you what, Slate Cup, the day before, I think I said to Steve the week prior, there's a good chance I'll be hungover for that game. And whew, I was. I was. Don't tell me that we're going to go for food and then we don't go for food and I don't eat the day before and I don't eat. I have like breakfast because I thought we were going out for dinner. And then pull up with a pint with a beer tower. What do we do about that? Not drink it? Oh, that's wasted it.
That'd be rude, mate. You can't go about doing that.
Oh God, I had a horrible headache. Unbelievable. You ever played? Okay, this is a good one for uni teams actually. Dom, have you ever played a game hungover?
No comment. Especially not this season. No. I wasn't hungover per se. I never actually did at uni, which is worse actually. But this year we played our second game against the Staffordshire Surge, and I had a bit of a heavy night the night before. But still, I turned up fine. Just drank 2 liters of water before the game. It sorted me out a little bit because I to be honest, hangovers of me, I'm alright with them. I don't really get that aspect, to be honest. But
that's because you're too young. Well, people like me,
Chris,
old
aren't you
people
24,
like me,
25?
Yeah, I'm one of those.
One of those.
I'm one of those.
Seeing as you won't say it, you're probably 25.
Yeah, no, I am.
I'm only a year younger than you. It's fine.
So, do you know what I'd say? I'd say because there is a good chance that people who play Uniball probably are at some point in their tenure going to play a game hungover.
Yeah.
Obviously, best thing to do: have a your standard breakfast, have your porridge, have that. As soon as you get to warm-ups, you should be able to sweat it out in warm-ups. Just put loads of effort into warm-ups, and you'll sweat it all out. And that's it. Though that is my goal. If you want to,
is that your pro tip? Is it? Just put everything into the warm-ups and sweat it all out. That's an awful idea.
Yeah. Well, what do you want me to say? Cold shower and a cup of coffee?
Yeah, mate. Anything.
No, sweat it out. Sweat it out. It'll be fine. Dom, you're gonna love this one. You're gonna love this one. It's
my boys.
Leeds Griffin, Sterling Klansmen have put more points on the board this game than they've had the entire season. 16 to Klansmen. Leeds Griffins are currently not doing well. They didn't do well last week. They were shut out last week. Will it be the same again? Not ideal.
Dreams can come true, mate. And the Klansmen are making it happen. So, great work. I love it. Leeds Griffins, pull your weight, mate. Come on. That's all I have to say to you.
So, what were you trying to say about Newcastle?
Well, they've tweeted us. Well, they're not us, but they've tweeted out the Raiders' defense is the third highest scoring offense in the division. So it's a it's a weird one. And I want to know. So I'm interested to see what's going on in their game, but we've not. Shock, I know. We've not been told anything. So thank you, Newcastle Raiders, for that. But
get better social media teams, guys. Mate, that's what I'm implementing. Social media teams for all.
Yeah.
I'll be your social media person, but you got to send me the scores. That's what I am. I am your social media person, but you've got to send me the scores.
So you're not really being their social media thing.
So okay, Dom. No. Yeah, well, they need to grow up. Okay, Dom, this is a good one.
Okay.
Obviously, people at uni, they might not have played sports this level, especially waking up early, especially waking up at some 7 a.m.s maybe to get the bus to a game for a full day. They won't be home until late. Maybe they won't be home until maybe about 4. They won't have eaten in a while. What do you think is the best breakfast to power someone for a full day of football?
Good old Mackey's breakfast, mate. Nothing does you better. No, that's not true. You just thought I've never had that played football. I just felt crap the entire day. So I really don't know, man. Like if you get convince your coach to stop at a service station, you can probably find a Greg's or something. I don't know, but I don't like. I'll be honest. If when I play football, I don't like eating at all. Like I've
Do you
never.
not?
No, mate. I won't eat until the game's basically finished. I hate it. I'll drink some water, maybe a few like sweets that someone's handing out, and that is the extent of my food for the day. I can't do it. So I'm like the wrong person to ask.
No, it's an interesting answer, because like obviously they tell you, have your porridge, have your, have some sort of sugar with it, keep yourself alert. Because one thing I don't like sleeping on the coach. I think that that sort of powers me down for the rest of the day. I want to be awake a lot on the coach, whether that's either going through plays or just relaxing, chilling out, because you've got quite a stressful day ahead of you. But I do agree. As much as I'm fat. I'm so fat, it's unbelievable, and I play O-line. As much as it's tempting, ladies and gentlemen, if you're playing Uniball, don't get a Mackey's breakfast. It's not good. It's not a good idea. That'll cut right through you. I'm not trying to slag off Mackey's, but
it never sits well. It never sits well.
No, and with McDonald's, pretty much everything that they create for people to eat is nutrition free. There's nothing in it. There's no minerals. So just take the time to either, if you're gonna maybe have something prepare yourself something the day before, have something that you can actually to do it, to go and play a game of football, because it is stressful. Like, people will give out sweets at half time, but that won't fill you. But this moves on to a better question, Dom. When you have finished a game, when you're on the bus, when they pull into that station, what is your number one? What if you are the first person off the bus, the first person into the service station? What is your go-to?
So it used to be like a good old BK, mate, a good old Burger King, but that's literally because Telford doesn't have one. Like, or rather, I said it didn't. But now I'm just I'm over it. Get over it, So it's always KFC, mate. You can't go wrong a good greasy bucket of chicken, mate. I'm always down for that.
But what do you get from KFC? Does it change from a win to a loss, or do you just need to drown, either your victories or sorrows? Because I remember when I was on Gameday Live, the senior ball season, we had a debate: Burger King if you win, KFC if you lose. That was the.
To be fair, actually, I mean, yeah. To be fair, Burger King was actually this year was more of a loss meal. To be honest. Had that coming back from Tamworth, and that's. But yeah, KFC is a winner's meal for me, mate. Just like a pub chicken dinner, mate.
So me, because as again wasn't trying to be the biggest flash lineman in the league, straight to M&S, straight to M&S.
Okay.
Because You get hopefully, because you're probably going to be stumbling in there quite late in the day. You check, you see them yellow labels. They will make your heart sing. They will bring you a new light. It's like when the sky opens up and you see the sun for the first time, especially if you live in Coventry like me, because there's no sun here. You see those yellow labels, you see that reduced sign, you buy yourself 3 wraps, you buy yourself cheeky little M&S lager that is says it's brewed in, somewhere down south, but it's actually horrible, but you drink it anyway because it's the alcohol percentage, and that's what you need. You need to completely dry yourself out, become anew on the bus, have a couple of wraps. That's normally me. I remember after a game this season, I ate a cheeseburger in 2 bites from McDonald's. Unbelievable. Here we go, listen. We're going to show you a cheeky little highlight from the Loughborough game. Henry Rowland is on it today, ladies and gentlemen. He seems to have been on an absolute roll. And here we go. And we're going to show you why the scoreline for Loughborough versus Nottingham Trent currently is 6 Nottingham Trent, Loughborough 22. They've got a cheeky little clip of a touchdown. Or here we go. Look at all that media. Oh, give me that media.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
unbelievable.
Love it. Great day for Henry Rowland, eh? Right, so Chris, this may be completely irrelevant to you. Oh, hold on, sorry.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're commenting straight. We don't even have to find it out. The Cambridge Pythons lead Canterbury 15 at half time.
It's fantastic.
See, there we go.
And thank you for keeping us updated.
Thank you very much, Cambridge. Thank you very much.
Great work. Are they in the runnings for Stream MVP? They could be.
They could be. They could be. It could be. I've got to talk nice about Cambridge. I love you, Cambridge. What are you going to ask me, Dom?
I was just saying, so this year, because we did a lot of carpooling instead of coaches, just because of a certain pandemic. Me and my friend Gareth, we went to pretty much every game together, and so we always had a thing with music. If we won, we listened to country music all the way back. So and if not, we just anything to cheer us up. But a little bit of smooth, a bit of country music to cheer to just I don't know, go along with the win. Loved it. Do you have anything like that, Chris?
Yeah, well, I think that's born out of very much the Lincoln Colonials. Obviously, in the UK, we don't have fight songs here, ladies and gentlemen. But I tell you what, I can tell you the Lincoln Colonials thing. When we win, Bluetooth speakers, put it on loud. Doesn't matter if the other team can hear. Country roads, take me home. That's what goes on, ladies and gentlemen. That's for me. There's no better victory. So maybe the one from SpongeBob. The winner takes all.
Well, go on, Chris. I'll kick the karaoke for later, fella. You can't. Is that a bit of a sneak peek for karaoke, is it, mate? I like it.
Yeah, but if the Colonials win next week, how about that? Oh, this is another good one. Henry Rowland, the man who has got he's got, I believe, 4 touchdowns on the day already. He is another NFL Academy alumni. Oh my God, we've even got his stats, ladies and gentlemen. This man stands 6'4", 230 pounds. For a quarterback, he's a unit. For a quarterback, that is exactly those are the measurables that I like. He's got the intangibles. I love that.
To me, that just says he's going to be. He's just going to just outplay them so easily. You're going to come across, especially in this division, where if you're a bigger guy, you can basically muscle your way through them, especially when you come against fresh 18-year-olds just in their first year uni. It will happen.
Yeah, there's nothing like looking at someone who's just started running towards them full speed, and you see their deer in the headlights just Well,
Yeah.
you
I don't know
know,
what to do.
you know, basically within that time frame, they're going to think about every life choice they've made up to that point. You know, and you can see it, but obviously. So then this is a good one. So when you've just started out, obviously for you it was a while ago.
Yeah.
How important is that first bit of physical contact from another team who aren't just going soft on you because it's training and they don't want to hurt their teammate? How important is it to get hit one time?
Yeah, I mean, that's like the make or break, really. To be honest, if like that in that moment, if you get like delivered a proper hit, that's when you sort of decide, oh, this sport's not for me. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, to be fair, I think actually, I think in every single preseason I've ever had, my biggest hit has always come from my own team, which I don't appreciate. Maybe I'm hated.
What?
Who knows?
What do you mean it's come? What? Tell me more.
So like in every like bit of like preseason, in practice, you're doing scrimmage at the end. I've always been, big hits. Like, they don't usually hold back that much, in the defense I've played against.
No, that's because we didn't like you. There you go.
There we go. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, if they had refs at training, I'd get called for targeting. And the worst part is,
you're the O-line. We played the same side of the ball.
No, not anymore. And the worst part is, I was a DT and you were a wide receiver, but I will chase you down. No,
I wasn't even on the field.
No, wasn't even on the field. I'd still do it. So this is another one. So obviously we've seen some infractions from the Bafra News Flash. How do you think that trash talking does have a role in the sport? Because I can definitely say that when I'm talking nonsense to someone, it makes me feel more confident, and it makes me play better. But I don't think that is shared with people.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. To be honest, I think it's completely fine. So like when you see a player like talking like a lot of shit, it could be, like you say, just to build their own confidence. But I do have like a coach, Mike Vinucci. We had a chat with him the other week, and he was still saying that sort of shit's all fake. He hates it. Like you should have as like a player, you have that mentality that you're better than him, but because you've done the work to think that, and all that, all the trash talk and all that shit for show is just all fake bullshit, trying to get a reaction on the other team. So some people, it is a very split decision. I think I like a bit of trash talk, but I know a lot of people feel there's no place.
But I think obviously there are limits to trash talking. Obviously, like you can talk nonsense about the plays and all that stuff, but then a quick example: number 22 for Yui was ejected from the game yesterday for homophobic trash talking.
Ooh,
now, obviously, that's something we got to step away from. Like I don't mind it. I remember I was chasing down a quarterback at training for the Colonials, and I believe the words were, "Come here, Marcus, you little pussy," and that made me laugh. But obviously, like as we're moving forward, especially in sports, you got to be smart about it if you want to trash talk.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially with that number 22 from that game for being ejected for that. That's just, that's not. Yeah, I completely agree with that call, being ejected for that. That shouldn't really be brought into the game at all. So, but like a bit of when it's just generally like chatting shit and being like really offensive to to then just chatting shit, just saying just random bollocks, just to disrupt and distract the other team.
Yeah. Well, I do that. I do it all the time. Yeah, unfortunately, because I'm on the O-line, I can't make as much noise now. But D-tackle, immediately, first thing you do, first play of the game, you walk up there, you ask the O-lineman, I'll give you a tenner if you tell me the play.
Yeah,
easy.
Just love it,
Easy.
Like,
Tenner if you tell me
there's
to play. Is it a run? Is it a run? Tell me if it's a run.
Like you always go like it's playing receiver as well. Like you go and you have a few words with like with your cornerback that's step facing over you. You always do. You sort of build like this little relationship with them where you can chat shit for a bit. It's all right.
Do you know what I hate the most? Is when you've got a player who's opposite you and he's stopping you from achieving your job for the day, and they turn out to be a really nice person. That really irritates me, because that happened to me this year at Ouse Valley, playing Colchester up against number 2 for them. He was I will admit, he was eating my breakfast. Like, that was the most I got melted the whole season. I was not having a good day. And he was lovely, absolutely lovely guy. Absolutely lovely guy. I hate it. You know.
Yeah. No.
Like if someone's having your breakfast and they're a knobhead, okay, fine, you can fucking get a bit. It's like when you need to sort of like get in the game, and then like he's asked me, because I had a bit of a OBJ moment. I was coming off the field and I've just grabbed my helmet and I just threw it at the floor, and then first person to ask me if I was all right, number 2 from Colchester.
Oh mate,
lovely guy. Lovely guy. But I won't out a person from another team. But another team we faced this year, they had a person who was trash talking a lot, and he was he needed to sort of be put in his place, and and he sort of was, because he was an American gentleman, and he would constantly tell us that our team was shit. And he's like, y'all are trash. And someone said, like, basically, you're an American playing in Div 2. Maybe
maybe you just settle down a bit. Yeah,
maybe about take about 50% off there, mate. You know what I'm saying? Take about 50% off. And he got roasted by a lineman, just like, cool it a bit,
So out of interest, Chris, you mentioned this is stepping away from Uniball for a bit. We're still waiting on scores anyway. You mentioned OBJ. What do you think about him signing with the bloody Rams?
Their win now.
Yeah, then it's they're a win now when they got Von Miller, and now they're like, OBJ as well. Go on, why not?
Well, the thing is that I said at the start of the season that my teams for the Super Bowl were the Rams and the Bills. I still think that, despite the Bills last week, I still think that.
I mean, despite the Bills losing to the Jets.
Jags.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, I sort of think that. I put a $5 on the Rams go to the Super Bowl. The odds weren't great, but I think the Rams were going to the Super Bowl at the start of the season. So that's why I have my bets on Gridiron Hub, and you should look at them. Only if you're of age.
Plug in your other show.
Only if you're of age. Only if you're of age to bet.
Yeah.
Basically, Dom, I've figured out the formula for me winning. Do you know what it is? It's taking what I think will happen and doing the opposite and betting the opposite of that. That's how I win.
Mate, to be fair, this whole season,
it works.
This whole season in the NFL has been a bloody mess of things that you would never predict in your life. Like some teams have beaten one game that they should never win, and it's weird.
Well, Dom, that's the thing. I said to myself, I knew the Dolphins were going to win. I could feel it. Did I bet on it? No,
you didn't.
Did
I think the Broncos were going to win against the Cowboys? No, I didn't. But they did, and they surprised me. I'm just going to go into every week thinking that the Broncos are going to get battered, and hopefully that will cause like some negative.
But just imagine the winnings you could have made last week if you bet the Broncos, the Jags, the Dolphins, the Giants.
It's insane, isn't it? Yeah,
like you put 20 quid on that, you'd be walking away with at least 800, at least.
Mate, yeah, that's one. But you would never bet on that, though. You would never bet on that because it's stupid.
No, you're too right. I wouldn't have bet on the Jags. Are you stupid? The Jags beat the Bills. Would I bet on that? Don't be ridiculous.
And yet they did it. It's crazy.
And that's why American football is such a good sport. But Uniball is still the best league, if you can believe it.
Well, not Uniball itself. Uniball Midlands Div 2. Thank you.
Midlands Div 2. If only we had a score update from any of the Midlands Div 2 sides. Yeah. If their games have kicked off yet. You know, we have to factor that in, is that some of the games may very well have not even kicked off yet.
Yeah, I mean, which we have it on our list that a lot of them started at 1, but...
Speaking of Uniball updates, ladies and gentlemen, we've got one for you right here. The Sheffield Hallam Warriors, who dominated their derby last week against the Sheffield Sabres, are currently up by 2 points to Manchester Tyrants. Sheffield Hallam Warriors 8, Manchester Tyrants 6. Right, Dom. Let's do something we need to do here. Sorry. Unless you got something for me. No,
I was just say. So Alex has written to us. Any update on the Bournemouth Bobcats? I mean, I can see they kicked off at they kicked off at 12, didn't they? So, do we have the score for that? No, unfortunately not. So, I hope to get straight for this for that soon. Just tweet them. Say send your scores to
Send the scores. All right, Dom. We need to talk about something right here.
Go on.
Uniball's a lovely, wacky, wonderful place with great teams. But I think it's time right now that we rank some names. We need to rank some names, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got some team names that aren't very atypical. For example, the Bullets, the Pellets, the Tyrants, the Mariners. The Colonials, the Stallions, the Mustangs, the Klansmen, things like that. So, the Spitfires, the Gladiators is fairly typical. The Royals, that's a good one. All right, Dom.
I mean, don't know about the Royals.
You don't know about the Royals? Worcester Royals? That's a good name.
But I don't know. The way it's not that original, is it? Like, there's already a baseball team with it, so get over it.
Oh, you're so boring. Just rank some team names, Tom.
Okay. Well, give me. We need like a tier list system.
Mate, literally, just look at the bottom of the screen. And any just jump out at you while I talk about ones. Obviously, I have a real soft spot in my heart. I really think that the Greenwich Mariners team that's a solid team.
It is a good one. I like the Mariners.
Greenwich Mariners is a great team. And as far as I'm saying, that's up there for me. And like you say that you don't like the Worcester Royals. I do like the Worcester Royals.
It's a good name. I just say it's not that, original, I guess. But,
Well, okay. What would you call the name then? Well, sorry, Dom. You play for a team called the Revolution, so why don't you be quiet?
That's due to the Industrial Revolution.
To be fair, I play for a team called the Eagles. So
the Eagles, yeah. What you say?
Yeah. Fair enough. You seem to have got me there. But what do you think about a team name like the Bullets?
I mean, I don't know. It seemed to come out of nowhere. Like, why the Bullets? Because it's not like. Because usually people try and link their team to something sort of related to where they play or or
all right then. Well, in that case, explain the Winchester Silverbacks.
Well, if you don't know, mate, in Winchester, there's a herd of silverback gorillas. No, I don't know, mate. That's right. There's a lot of names like this. Yeah, that's silverback. So, but I like the name. That name rolls off the tongue. I like it, but it's. Not exactly. Yeah, I mean, how would you go about naming the team, though, Chris? Would you look for a historical value to the name? Would you just
So it's good that you mentioned that, because obviously Coventry, as a city, don't have an American football team. They used to. It used to be the Cov Jets, and that obviously now the Uni's now the Cov Jets. So I was thinking, what's Coventry known for? Not a lot of things.
City culture.
But one of them was
former City culture.
No, it's City culture this year. You straub.
Oh, is it this
Don't
year?
you at my
Sorry,
city?
yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah.
It's not my city. Christ, I can't believe I just said that.
My city.
Ugh. Coventry is my city. Very, very good reference there. Very good. So, to be fair, when we discussed, would we start up a team in Coventry? Just so people who aren't good enough to play for Tamworth don't have to go to the Rev or the Eagles.
There's also the Birmingham
Bulls. All the Bulls. Yeah, there is. I always go for one. This is going to sound dumb because it obviously is it is already a basketball team. Coventry Cavaliers.
Okay. Why Cavaliers?
Or why? Sounds nice. I don't know.
Is it to do with the Civil War? Like the English? No, you're not. I don't know. I'm starting to think you weren't too big on your history, Chris.
Of Coventry? No, it's fucking too right. I'm not.
But to be fair, Coventry Cavaliers. I like it. I think it's good.
But I was gonna. That was my second. Idea. The first one was the Coventry Cavalry, which is very difficult to say.
Yeah, that's a. I think that will be rejected just because of how hard it is to say.
Yeah, Coventry Cavalry.
Yeah, it's too many reasons.
Oh yeah. But come on. There's got to be one there's got to be like one or two in the Uniball league that jumps out at you as like, that's a good name. And don't say Colonials because we both know that's not true.
It's not a bad name, the Colonials. Though. I mean, again, they went for the historical side, not for any.
Yeah, but the problem, we both know what the problem with the Colonials name is.
Yeah, it just sounds awful. It sounds awful. Okay.
Like we know that's like we both know that that's not what it is, but
yeah, we know. But people won't.
People won't
hear the name.
That's the problem.
Oh. Yeah, because I remember when they needed to change their name, didn't they?
Yes, they did. And I remember I said to them, if we ever rebrand, call ourselves the Lincoln Lightning. That's what we call ourselves. I said that 2-3 years ago, and then the bloody South Links Lightning come about and ruin it for me. Absolutely kill my idea flat. So now I would have to start again. I would be able to think of one. Why the Lightning? Because it sounds good. There you go. Because Lincoln, all their teams are called the Swans, like apart from us and the cheerleading squad.
Oh mate, yeah, because the Swan. If no one's ever been to Lincoln watching this show, all it is just students and swans. Isn't that
the truth? Isn't that the truth? God's place.
Also, speaking of Swans, Swansea Titans just kicked off. So
yes,
so
that was a great segue, Dom.
I thought that.
Yeah. What about UCL Emperors? Does that name?
Emperors. Is it named after?
Is a great one.
Is it named after the emperors and the royalty, or like the Penguins? So.
No, there's only one Penguins team, Dom, and they are the best Canadian rules football team in the nation.
Oh, of course, yeah. I feel like we should have some more teams of like abstract animals like penguins and stuff like that. Yeah, polar bears.
I know that there's one in Germany. I forget where it is. They're called the Unicorns, and their kit is pink.
Sick. Love that.
Yes,
great. I love that.
Give me more pink kits, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I want. More pink kits. I still think a name that's underrated from NFL Europe was the city of Rain in Germany. What was their team name? The Rain Fire.
Okay. Oh, no, that's good. I like that. That's pretty good.
So basically, when we were on here before for Gameday Senior Ball, they were telling about some of the history of Britball, and they had some great ones. So there was a team in Staines in London. Yeah, the team name was the Staines Removers.
Oh, that's poor. I hate it.
Yeah, and then there one in London. So obviously there's Euston in London.
Yeah.
The Euston Oilers.
Okay.
Come on, Euston Oilers. Come on, that's a great name. Absolutely love it. No, you love it. It's because you're boring. That's why.
No, you mate.
But Lancers. What about that?
The Lancers. I mean, yeah, I
Lancers.
like it. Lancers. Yeah, it's good.
For a British name, I like Lancers. Yeah. You know, the one thing that I always thought was, why didn't Lincoln have like a team more dedicated to like the war side of like building tanks and airplanes? Obviously, Lincoln flag team is the Hellfire. Probably can't have that. That might be a bit too aggressive, but
yeah. But the adults, the senior team is the Bombers, isn't it? So
that is true. But then you have to look. But then in this league, but then in the Uniball league, it's the Lancaster Bombers.
Yeah.
Which is, can't go wrong with that name, can you? Really?
That's right.
But like, obviously, there are some teams that simply, haven't tried. The York St John Jaguars. Come on a bit.
Just chose an animal.
Yeah.
The Rams have just gone past as well.
There are any bears? There are any bears in Bradford? Like
Turnow Aberystwyth. I doubt there's any bears in Bradford.
Turnow Aberystwyth. That's another good one. They got.
We were told what that meant the other week.
Thunder.
Thunder. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The Thunder, which is a great name. DMU Lions. I'm not going to talk about you. You
Staffordshire Stallions. I mean, it's okay.
Please, someone at Staffordshire, please update me on the score. I want to find out. I want to find out the Staffordshire score. We have got another update for Sheffield Hallam. Manchester Tyrants. Now in the lead. 14-8 after being down. 6-8. Tyrants lead in this division. I'd love to see Manchester pull it out. Obviously, Sheffield are riding high, beating the Sabres in the derbies. The Sabres are one other, again, as I've said, another team that need to pull their finger out right here, but I don't think they've got a game this week. Sterling seem to be on the right path this week. They're currently winning.
Don't jinx them, man. Yeah, you just give them commentators curse, mate. They're going to come back and they're going to lost horribly when we get a final update.
Yeah, well, you need to, not curse teams. You need to pick better squads that don't get cursed. The old Maris curse, unbelievable.
Shoot old curse, mate.
Yeah, it didn't work on Thursday, did it?
No, it didn't. When you put it in the chat, I was like, okay.
Yeah, well, this goes. Yeah, you need to grow up about that. Dolphins up all the way. Listen, I remember there was, I'm not sure if they're still about, in the senior league, there was the Pool Dolphins. I'm not sure if they're still about. They are still about. They are still about. See, that's when you don't do the senior ball. That's when you do the senior ball thing once. I only focus on my division in senior ball. Only team that I focus on. Only things I. Here we go. Steve is coming hot. We were just talking about names. Okay. There is a BAFA rule preventing any new teams using a short list of names. One of those is Lions, but DMU seems to have gotten away with it.
Yeah, I assume that's because we it's a GB Lions, and so they don't want a lot of people using Lions because it just takes away from the actual GB team. So
yeah, that's completely fair reason.
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
Because I won't lie, I thought that I was having I had like short term, I had like memory loss because I always thought, weren't they the Falcons? But it turns out it simply was they've just changed their name.
They were the Falcons, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Why change from Falcons to Lions?
And then they realised that they've got more Lions than Falcons in
Leicester. In Leicester, yeah. I mean, maybe they changed their name just because like the Leicester Falcons is the adult team and they don't want to.
Yeah, it could be.
Get confused,
makes sense.
Maybe.
Honestly, there is a street near where I live. And it's like the Montford Way, and the temptation I have to run my I-10 into that sign is unfathomable. Just right off my I-10, so I don't have to look at it every time.
Fully worth it, mate. Fully worth it.
Fully worth it. That's why I want to see the DMU score because, I do think, and I've said this before, I do think that the Colonials are going to struggle next week. I really do. I'd love to be wrong.
Yeah,
I'd love to be wrong, and. Because do you know what I realised? And this is probably the most narcissistic thing I'm going to say on this stream, and it's a good one, is that on next Sunday will be the first Lincoln Colonials game that doesn't feature either Elliot Maris or Chris Tebbett in 4 years. Isn't that a really narcissistic thing to think? Like,
is it not longer? Because Maris did a bit longer than you.
Well, no, I'm saying both of us.
Oh, we're both. Oh, okay, get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it'll be the first. It'll be the first Lincoln Colonials game without Elliot Maris in 5 years.
Yeah, that's mad.
That's mad, isn't it?
Put a lot of time into that team, mate.
Yeah. And look where it got him, neck pain. That's it. That's what you can come away with. You can come away with.
Alex Jones, Bournemouth Bobcats, 22-6.
Oh,
that's actually a big score.
That is a big score, especially considering the Bournemouth Bobcats beat the Pellets last time, 33-6. Are we going to see a repeat of that for the Pellets? Now this is interesting. So you look at the Nottingham Green and you look at the Nottingham Gold, especially considering last week. You look at that. Obviously, you can sort of see that there has been a level of care put into the Green. I'm not saying that a level of care has not been put into the Pellets, but comparatively, from the teams that have two teams, what do you think the Pellets need to take away from Notts? Do you think that there's something missing there for the Pellets?
I mean, it really comes down to training. We don't know, but do the entire Nottingham squads train together and they just form two teams from that? Because if so, if the Green are playing against the Gold defense, then they're going to be better. They're sort of the whole, iron sharpens iron, all that sort of stuff. You want to be practicing constantly against players that are going to help you improve. So maybe the Pellets aren't doing that, but who knows really.
Who knows? Well, I'm just saying, considering last year. But I'll get back to that topic. Nottingham Trent Renegades 12, Loughborough 22. Currently,
still time to come back in that.
Loughborough are doing well. I feel like we might be sleeping on Loughborough a bit, ladies and gentlemen. We might be sleeping on Loughborough. They're doing well. I remember they were doing well last week as well. They had a very interesting game. They had one of the only games that was close when it came time. But yeah, it's just comparatively. I imagine that's probably what is happening for Nottingham Green, or they've just got an influx of good players, and that's what obviously makes Britball great. But it's just interesting to see the teams that have two teams. How do they go about that? Do they risk the injury of their first string, first team players to go down and train with the? Oh, thank you very much, Alex. That is the final score for Bournemouth and UEA.
Okay.
UE. Sorry. So there you go. That is almost reminiscent of the season before. Dom, I want you to try and say this name.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, mate. Chris, Andrew Conis, mate. Chris, Andrew Conis scored the latest touchdown for Manchester Titans. And
Tyrants.
What a touchdown.
Tyrants.
That's what I said. Play it back. I said that. In my mind, I said that.
There was no R. There was no R, mate.
What did I say?
You just Titans. You said the senior team.
Oh, maybe that's what it is, because I just saw Manchester and a team.
No. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Dom. This is a hot question for you.
Oh no!
Is it sad?
Firing questions at me, mate.
Is it sad? Is it?
Okay.
Do you look down on someone, and is it sad if someone owns an NFL team jersey with their name and number on it? Is that sad?
See, I had this exact dilemma when I was buying my jersey. I was buying a Cortland Sutton jersey, but I play 14. I got it because he plays 14. I think he's a good player, and I also wear 14. But I was tempted to get, you get it personalised, put your name on it. Is that sad though? I don't know.
That's the question.
And I had this dilemma. In the end, I just got Sutton. I was like, yeah, Sutton will do. It's cool. But Man, I had this weird little thing because I thought,
But that's it.
will people judge me if I get my name? But then I can see you wearing 77 right now. Do you want to show us the back of that, Chris?
No.
Huh? Yeah, you're wearing one now, aren't you? It's like I feel like it's not a big deal.
Do you know the worst part is, Dom?
Yeah.
If we do decree it as sad, not only do I have a Dolphins home jersey 77 with my name on it, I've also got a Dolphins away jersey with 77 and my name on it.
I don't think it is sad. I mean,
well, realistically, is that it's for me the name doesn't matter to you. Let's do this first.
Yeah.
Nottingham Trent get an interception, set their offense up on the Loughborough 40-yard line. Can Nottingham Trent get back
in there? So it's good. They still have a chance. So
it's doable. It's doable, and that's what hopefully they can do it. Interceptions obviously changed the focus of the game fully. For me, it wasn't so much getting the name as it was getting the number, because 77 for the Dolphins, not great.
Right?
Jesse Davis, if you're watching, which you are.
Well, yeah, it definitely is.
You're not very good.
He's your biggest fan, I heard.
No. Give me a cool 77. If it was like if Taylor Lewan or 77 for the Dolphins, I'd buy a Taylor Lewan because Taylor Lewan's dope.
Here's the thing, Chris. You look at it in this way. So if you buy a football shirt in this country, it doesn't have the name on it. Like it's only like the jerseys that actually doesn't have a name on it. So if you want to put your name on it, go for it. I mean, if you look at the kits that have names in this country, it's usually kids who have that on the back of the back of the top. If like a Messi on the back of the top or whatever, but with NFL jerseys, it's like, oh, you either get your player or you get your name, but you can't have nothing. So
it's when I see people walk around when they've got like special numbers like 0, like, oh, why don't you grow up a little bit?
I reckon we should be able to wear 0. That's a great number.
So do I. I'd love to be. I can't be because I play on the line. 0. Put me in 0.
And would it be 00 or just 0?
Or 00.
Yeah.
00. Oh, that'd be nice. Do you know what I think is into one? If anyone's watching, did you have any traditions regarding numbers on the team that if you wanted a specific number, you'd have to do a certain task, whether it's a return as old one, because other colonials we did have one. It was for the number 69, which is the one that people they want, mainly linemen. So number 69, it's not a bad tradition. They just had to eat a whole box of Weetabix without any liquids.
I didn't know if that's what we had to do to get that. I thought it was just that we gave it to a rookie. Oh, that's great.
No, that's it. No, it changes every year, and you have to eat Weetabix. Dom, you'll love this one. Leeds Griffins are still yet to score for the second week in a row. They have still not put any points on the board, while the Sterling Klansmen have absolutely thrashed their entire season so far total by putting 24 on the board against Leeds Griffins. Leeds Griffins, with this, they're going to go down in the rankings a lot. Rankings. Coming soon. Here we go, Chef Callum. Unfortunately, we have had nothing from the Napier Knights regarding their score, which is a shame. I'd love to see how they are doing. If you know anyone who might know it, if you can get the score from somewhere else, please post it here. We can update it. We can talk about the Napier Knights. I remember when we played them in the playoffs, I believe they'd conceded 8 points all season. We managed to put some points on them, and then we lost by a field goal.
After we missed like 2 field goals prior.
Unbelievable stuff. But that was Mud Bowl.
Was Mud Bowl. Disgusting pitch. Horrible day. And then a magpie flew for the change room keys.
Did they?
Unconfirmed. Well, we'll never know. We'll never know.
Oh, honestly, Steve, you gave me a heart attack there. I was about to go mental.
So did I. No way.
So the Gloucestershire Gladiators is currently 8 to 2 with the Bulldogs. Glad's currently up 6. I was going to go 82.
Yeah, this is the match we saw originally, and we're like, no way. But there we go, 8 to 2. That's a more reasonable score.
That would be a great scoreline. Like the Bulldogs' only points were a safety, and then they score 82 on them. That would have been a great line.
Yeah,
absolutely great line. Gosh, what was I talking about before? Was it jersey numbers?
Yeah,
Double O's. Oh, that's it. Number 69. Yeah. So number 69 for the Colonials gets passed down every year. You can't keep it for the full 3. And you have to eat a thing of Weetabix. Now, in my final year, we had a lovely guy. His name was Manny. Great guy. He was number 69, and he knows why. And he was tasked with eating the Weetabix, and he was unable to finish like maybe 3. So because he was on my team, because he was on the line with me, and I did like him, I said I'll do it for him. And he was trying to eat them like normally. Now, what you do with Weetabix, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're trying to force eat them, you literally put them in your hand and just crumble them into your mouth. Just force them. My mouth was so dry. And in the saddest thing, Dom, you won't believe this, I cut my hand on a Weetabix.
How? Mate, how did you get injured on anything? Imagine being injured by a Weetabix.
I wasn't out for the season.
I think you nearly were there, weren't you?
But no, I cut my hand eating a Weetabix.
That's wild.
Yeah, not badly. Just it was more so how have I cut my hand eating a Weetabix, because I was shoveling them in. There's a video of me looking fat eating a Weetabix. Yeah, unbelievable. Just being like.
It brings you back to the dinner for 2 punishment that we had.
Tell about dinner for 2.
I don't think we can without getting people in trouble. Maybe.
Why not?
Oh, well, we say, but we won't say specific, shall we? So
you can maybe leave out the contents of the dish. Maybe just the concept.
So dinner for 2. We always had it on like a set on.
You can say welcome social.
Big. Well, yeah, welcome social.
You can say welcome social.
So it was always like, if you're the first one in, you were deemed too keen, and you brought to the side. And the last one in, well, it's rude to be late. Don't be late. And then, but to reward you guys for being too keen and late, you sat down to a lovely meal of tea, given a whole bottle of wine each. And
hold on 1 second, Dom. We have got a major update from Midlands Div 2. The Kiel-Chester game has been called off at halftime because of Chester injuries. That is bad. We never ever like to see something like that. I hope everyone at Chester who's injured, or anyone involved who's injured,
that's rough.
That's very rough.
Multiple injuries from the Chester side then as well, like to a point where they can't continue the game.
Side. That's not good. Chester were doing well last week, if I remember correctly.
Maybe like I don't know. I don't know specifics, but like that to me maybe sounds like quarterback issues. Maybe okay, maybe not.
Here we go.
Yeah,
here we go.
That's not good.
Mark coming in hot. That's just a shame.
I think you see it all the time. You go play against teams, and they've got like hardly any players for.
But I think realistically, what that shows me is that if that was the case last week, obviously I don't know. Hopefully, if Mark was there, he can fill us in. If that was the case for last week, Chester losing 28-36 to Notts Green with a short amount of players is much more impressive, knowing that
it really is. And that's what it shows. Nottingham Green. We thought you did a lot better, but like you only beat 20 guys, so you're probably knackered with your fresh rotations.
But that's it. You say that, but it's still impressive. You put 28. You put 28. You put 28 points for someone. But that's never a update. We like to hear that a game has been called off because of injuries. That is a shame. I hope everyone.
We had it this season with the Rev. So we're playing Staffordshire, and they were short on players, probably because the week before we beat them quite badly. So we went to their ground, and they didn't have any players to start off with, and it was just just after half time, we were getting into scoring position again, and they were like, "Nah, we're done. We're gonna have to call this boys out," because they're having players drop every play. You know what I mean? So it's sad to see, and you just hope everyone's all right, really. So.
Yeah, that's all we can really say. So there you go, another scoreline in. Kiel Chester called off before half time. Chester injuries.
Also, just a little update on the Swansea Titans. So they're still tweeting their scores for us. It's in the first quarter, but it's still 0-0. So not much going on in that game.
I believe it was up the Swannies.
Up the Swannies. Oh, wait, what was that hashtag we had earlier? Hashtag pray for Swanee.
Pray for Swannies. Pray for Swannies.
Yeah. Oh man, it's been dry this week, Tebb. It's been dry.
What do you want me to do about it? We was going all right last week.
I know. Look at last week. We had scores coming in from everywhere. What is going on? We're being robbed here, man.
Here we go. Leeds Carnegie are about to kick off their game.
Loves it.
They've got some nice walkthroughs. Leeds Carnegie, they know how to do media properly. Get them in. Unbelievable stuff. So back to you eating dinner, Dom. Tell me about it.
Oh yeah. So it's you got those two people eating like a 6-man lasagna. And it just ruins your night because you just can't get drunk afterwards. It's just
and you had to drink a bottle of red wine as well.
Oh yeah, and that red wine, dreadful.
And also, they didn't have to take part in any of the other rookie stuff either.
Yeah, which is actually more disappointing because those rookie challenges and games, should we call them, were fun. They're good. Eating an entire onion. Go for it.
Can we yeah, it was my one. So let's just talk. Let's just talk to them about that particular night. Do you want to talk about? So do you want to talk about why you were the last one in?
Oh well, Chris, I was the last one into this welcome social because I was being nice to you. I said, "Go on, Chris, you go first, mate." And
that's why I don't have to drink a bottle of red wine and eat a 6-man lasagna.
Trying to be a nice guy.
because he opened the door for me and I walked in.
Outrageous.
Unbelievable.
I was absolutely shafted.
That's exactly your luck as well. And do I feel bad about it? No, I don't. I will never ever feel bad about it.
Well, yeah, because you didn't have to. I have to say though, partway through eating the lasagna, Maris came in and helped me out with it. So
did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I did it last year, so it's rough, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, thanks."
There you go, Maris coming in hot. Unbelievable. Number 8 for the Grizzlies. We've had that scoreline in already. Swansea Titans 0, Cardiff Cobras 0 in a lovely Welsh matchup. You ever had to play any Welsh teams, Dom? You're quite close to the border, aren't you?
No. Yeah, I am. I mean, you drive 45 minutes to get to Wales, so I actually haven't played any Welsh teams. None at all. We have a few Welsh players on our team, but
other than that,
no. Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not a Welsh team that's called the Dragons.
Yeah, to be fair, are there a lot of Welsh adult Uniball adult teams rather?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, because now like an update. Bournemouth Trent 2, Bullets.
I thought that game had ended.
Yeah, we already had this, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobcats walk out with pick 6. Okay. Nice way to end the game, though.
Well,
to be fair.
yeah, it's a good way to end the game.
giving us a good bit of extra detail on that one, so I appreciate that one.
Put up your point differentials a bit.
Mm.
That's all that matters. Point differentials and taking pictures. No.
Leeds Beckett have won the toss and chose to defer, so they're going to kick the ball off. Just to let you know.
Come on, Leeds Beckett, stream your games. Let me watch them live. So when we were doing the Senior Ball show, I had a fondness for the Nottingham Raiders because they weren't very good, but I just had a soft spot for them. Would you say that your one is going to be the Sterling Klansman for this season?
I think it is. It's going to quickly become the Klansman, mate. And for no reason other than that one stat you read out at the start of the show, that they won their last 5 or 8 games?
They won their last 5 of 8, yeah.
Yeah, great. Love that. So they're slow start, and they're going to smash it from there going forward.
There you are. Nathan Coates was an official for the Bournemouth Pellets game. It's Pellets. Yes, Pellets. No, it's definitely Pellets. Yeah. Oh, you got me all confused there, Nathan. Unbelievable stuff.
How was the game, Nathan? Did you have change of facilities? It's all right.
Oh dear.
Let us know.
Well, we'll know about it. We'll know about it in the back of the report.
Next week.
Okay, so let's get on to a piece of news here. So, in the the World Flag Cup or something along those lines, here we go. Just before we do that, this is an unconfirmed score, ladies and gentlemen. Hull Sharks 2 getting a cheeky save against the Northumbrian Mustangs 3. But it doesn't seem to merit with the scores that we currently have, so we're gonna do a bit more investigating to see if that score is.
Take this score with a pinch of salt. That's what we're saying, really. We could be wrong here.
Salt.
Yeah.
So, piece of news here, ladies and gentlemen. So the World Flag Cup, which is taking place in Jerusalem, of all places, due to COVID and the travel restrictions. Oh, here we go. There we go. That makes a bit more sense. The Hull Sharks 2, Northumbrian Mustangs 10. There you go. That makes a bit more sense. Northumbrian Mustangs pulling it out here against the Hull Sharks, making it nice and spicing it up a bit, keeping that game, relatively.
What do you think about that score, Chris? Do you like how that's going against the Sharks?
You can definitely see from the Hull Sharks' last game is that they seem to be a more defensive front than anything else. They only won by a single score, or 2 field goals. Oh no, it wasn't. It was 7. No, they won by a single score. We got another one in as well. They won by a single score, so I guess they must be a more defensively stacked front than offensively. Sheffield Hallam currently at 16, Manchester Tyrants at 14, keeping it tight, are they? That's always good to see, especially up in the Premiership division. See, we're getting some scores rolling in now. This is what makes it all worth it, ladies and gentlemen. Makes it all worth it. So the National Flag Cup is taking place in Jerusalem. The GB aren't sending a team over due to COVID restrictions. However, BAFRA, the referees officials, are sending 2 over. What message do you think? What message do you think that sends to basically Britball as a whole? We can't send a squad. Obviously, a squad's a lot harder to manage than 2 officials, but I still think it's.
But you should think that there's that sort of unity on it, though. That they sort of both agree that they shouldn't send anyone over, but to then be like, oh yeah, we're sending 2 refs over. Why? Why have you done that though? Just to show good, I don't know, unity between BAFRA and BAFA. It chose not to start field aside. So,
would you go to Jerusalem to play a game of football?
Probably, honestly, yeah, I would. Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I would as well.
Yeah, why not? I just take it as an opportunity to play in a different country. Why not? Yeah, you have a good time.
See, Oh, yes, we're getting more scores in. Leeds Griffins have managed to put points on the board, but it is only 2. You can't fault a safety. Maybe that is what's going to turn this around. It's still not completely unmanageable for the Leeds Griffins because the Stirling Klansmen are up 24.
Yeah,
Leeds Griffins 2.
I do imagine that game is coming towards the fourth quarter at this point as well.
But again, it's still manageable. They could still do it. You know, there's been big in life. Oh yes, look at all these scores. Look at all these scores. Swansea Titans still at 0. Cardiff Cobras strike first blood over the Titans. Cardiff Cobras 6. Swansea Titans 0.
That's very very aggressive score read there, I have to say.
What do you want me to do? Stop doing voices? No, it keeps people interested, mate.
All right, mate. All right.
But only because when you sing at the end of the stream,
oh yeah, can't wait.
Everyone will leave.
Yeah, it's to get them to stop listening. To be fair. So
Keele and Chester have been called off. We can write that one down.
Okay.
Bournemouth have beaten the Pellets 22-6. Those are the current full-time scores that we've got, apart from all the walkovers and stuff like that have happened. Not much you can do about walkovers. Dom, have you ever been on a side? Sorry, go on.
Okay. So I've just seen a comment on the on our scores thread that's been updated. Apparently, Bangor versus UClan is now at 5:30 kickoff. So that's gonna be a late game for those guys.
No, not what I'm hearing.
No,
he says 5.
Oh, back to 5 actually. Yes, I said back to 5. Okay, still a late kickoff though. Who wants to play a game at 5 p.m.?
That's a very late kickoff.
You're gonna miss the actual NFL. It's just not what you want to do.
Yeah, that's a very late kickoff. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't be against late kickoff, but the only thing is, not to be too British, but it gets dark at about 5. So,
it does, yeah.
We're playing that game in floodlights. I've never had to experience a game that has been played under that. Do you think that gives more of? Who do you think that gives? Oh my God! Oh my Christ!
I can't believe this.
What a score update!
Outrageous.
The DMU Lions. Oh my God, this is disgusting. The DMU Lions are up 20 over the Staffordshire Stallions, who've got Nero. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Staffordshire Stallions won by they put 60 points, 62 points on the board last week, and they can't manage anything currently against DMU.
That is
God's division. DMU are back in Div 2. They are back with a vengeance, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be, when I say, honestly, I said as a joke, I was joking about the Midlands 2 being the best division, but I won't lie. The Midlands 2 is a good division. It's spicing up.
It's weird. So after such a statement that the Stallions put out last week, to be 20-0 down at this point.
Staffordshire Stallions seem to be suffering from the same thing that Birmingham have had. They absolutely decimate an opponent the week before. This week, they can't seem to get anything going, but hopefully they can get some points on the board just to maybe save a bit of face. But I think that some halftime adjustments could be necessary. But then this is it. Does this just mean that Huddersfield weren't putting out a good enough side?
That could be it. Yeah. For all we know now, we may have sung the Stallions' praises too soon.
And here we go. We got another one. Oh, they keep rolling in. This is what we love to see.
I love this. Nottingham
Trent Renegades 20, Loughborough Uni 22. They are still in it. A field goal, if they've got goalposts.
Who knows?
Can win the game for the Nottingham Trent Renegades.
Yeah, so they were they were not longer. They were, it was a 2-score game. Bring it to within 2 points. This is honestly a great game. Well, Renegades bringing it back, keeping it very competitive.
That's what we love to see. Keeping it close. The game and that game has just got into the fourth quarter. So Nottingham Trent really have to start pulling their finger out a little bit here. But again, very doable. Hopefully their defense can get a stop. Keep the game tight. Keep the game going for Nottingham Trent here. Oh no, sorry, I was thinking about another game. We got another one from Rob. Bath Spa Bulldogs 8, Gloucestershire Gladiators 2. That game is currently in the third quarter. See, they're keeping it here, ladies and gentlemen. They're keeping it nice and tight. A lot of defensive games this week. I believe there was either 9 or 10 shutouts last week, beating the week before, which only had 8. Are we going to see? I think that the fact that number went up as we got into the second week, I think that is mainly just due to the fact there were more games played. I think that hopefully by week 5, there's going to be a lot less of those. There's going to be a lot less shutout victories. Just because as teams grow, as teams get better, as the rookies who haven't played the game before get back into it, or not get back into it, get into it, understand the game, understand the scheme, hopefully, work on special teams, ladies and gentlemen. Work on special teams. Gosh, I can't believe that DMU score. Golly, gosh.
We didn't expect it, to be honest. I mean, we knew DMU. They dropped down, so they're going to be an okay team. But yeah, we were thinking Staffordshire Stallions could be the ones. Promotion.
I think I was just seduced by the numbers, Dom.
Yeah, man.
I saw that. I saw that 60 last week, and I was thinking Staffordshire might be the ones to beat here. Are DMU going to take that crown from them this week? Are they going to put the Staffordshire Stallions at 1-1 and put themselves at 1-0? Remember, so in this Loughborough Renegades Nottingham Trent, remember this game is already completely decimating the score the last time these teams met, as Loughborough won 6-0. While Nottingham Trent Renegades have got an opportunity to get some revenge for that loss in the 2019-2020 season by just putting some points on the board. It'll be interesting to see how that game actually shapes up. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, that peach squash went down the wrong hole.
Study yourself, Chris. Study yourself.
So, Dom, let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
do you think that... Sorry. Do you think that that the players who wear eye black during the winter when they're playing Uniball is a good move or a bad move? Do you think it's just... Is it for the pictures?
Partly, but I think it is a good move, to be honest. Especially in the winter, like the sun's quite low all the time, so it does blind you. So, I mean, just when I'm driving around town, I'm being blinded all the time. So I can see the benefit of them wearing eye black. I don't think it's completely necessary, seeing as most days are overcast and there's no sun to be seen. But yeah. It's one of those ones people like it. Some people, I think, probably have it as part of their tradition to wear it on game day.
Because I've started putting eye black on no matter what weather it is, because it makes me because it makes me laugh. Because it makes it just basically it's like
I'm doing it for a good time, mate, aren't you? So.
Yeah, that's it, well, mate. Slate Cup, I only did one eye, and it was horrible.
Why do you only one eye?
Because you need to look good, play good. That's
sure. Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's it, and that's why the one eye. I went for a fashion statement. I wore a dress shirt under my pads. So
yeah, I saw you've been putting pictures in the group chat, and I think I've seen the dress shirt underneath the pads.
Yeah, do you want to know why, ladies and gentlemen? So the Grizzlies know I mean business. That's why. That's why it was on.
Nothing to do with the weather. Not because it was cold.
No, not because I didn't bring any thermals. And it was
didn't
cold.
You take any thermals, mate? I just don't.
It's not a decision. Mate, I thought it was going to be a nice sunny day in November playing that game.
Yep, nice sunny day in November in the UK.
I should have worn my big massive fur coat that I've got hanging up as well.
Yeah.
That might be next week's game day outfit.
Oh yeah.
The uni stream outfit. I've got an idea for one. But it's whether or not it's too ridiculous.
I'm interested.
Yeah, well, it beats your outfits, mate. You know, you need to put on some flash, mate. You're dressed like Johnny Manziel, mate. So stop talking.
Good guy, Johnny Manziel.
Good guy.
Yeah, I know him personally. So, yeah.
So, Dom, what do you think the? Oh, here we go. We got another one. Josh Marshall gets his first career pick for Loughborough. So obviously, sorry, go on, Dom.
So that sounds like not well. It's is it Nottingham Trent Renegades?
Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like the Renegades are really trying to push that. But let's hope this doesn't give away the game now. To be fair, because you don't want Loughborough to score again at this point.
All right, Dom. Because that was talking about firsts. Like, what does it feel like to get that first big play? You know, because I'm sure that like you've been playing this for years, so I don't know if you can even remember your first either touchdown or first catch. I
actually remember my first catch because it was against the Leicester Falcons. It was simple, 5-yard hitch, mate. Loved it. Caught the ball, got hit immediately, managed to hold on. Kept the drive going. Honestly, it wasn't even a big play, but it felt great. You know what I mean?
So obviously Josh Marshall is definitely feeling something like that right now. Just he's got his first career pick.
Especially on defense, it's so much different as well. If you get an interception, it's game changing. It's not just like, keep the drive going, let's see where we go. You know, it is like a spark that Loughborough may need because they've sort of stagnated as well. So let's see what they can do.
Yeah, that could very well shift the momentum definitely into Loughborough's favour here. Let's see if there's any updates. Oh, there may be. Oh no.
Oh,
this website.
We have just had one. Swansea Titans. I just tweeted out 1 minute ago. Titans TD. So could be 6-6. Could be depends on if there's goalposts or not. We'll wait on the actual score to be tweeted for us.
Field goals. Do they have? Well, it's Prem, so they better have field goals.
They better have. Yeah.
Or is it Div 1? I don't remember. Yeah. Oh God. All right, Dom. After a game, what do you do after a game, especially a Uniball game? Because always like you're not driving back, you've got the coach. When you get home, what are you doing? What are your first thoughts? Do you prep yourself to go out, or do you stay in? Do you
win or lose? I'm at uni. Win or lose, just go and walk out. You know what I mean? I'm getting a shower. I'm getting changed to whatever. I'm gonna go sit and walk about and watch the NFL with the rest of the team.
And absolutely destroy a Walkie's burger.
Yeah, probably a Walkie's burger that I shouldn't buy because I've overspent that week anyway.
Walkie's burgers. Send one to my house. Honestly, I've got one goal for Gameday, for Uniball Gameday Live, and that's to get a Walkie sponsorship. That's it. That's all I want. Give me a free burger once a year.
Yeah, it's just for your birthday, mate. You know, it'll be good. So Swansea did fail the 2-point conversion, by the way. So it is 6-6.
Nice. So
good game. Competitive so far.
So what would you? Oh, there we go. So what would you say? So is it the Super Bowl, or is it the last game of the season that really your big event for the Uniball calendar when you were playing?
It was always to be fair, it was always a Super Bowl. To be honest, that was always because not everyone would show up to walk on a Sunday, but like you guarantee you pretty much get everyone down there, packed into like the upstairs of walkies, just to watch the Super Bowl. It's a good time, you know.
Oh. Do you know what I genuinely love? It's when you have a game that day. So like your whole day, your whole day is dedicated to football.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you wake up early. I remember the majority of the times, actually all the times I was at Lincoln, we always had home games the day of
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
It was great. I loved
You know,
it.
you'd go home, you'd have a shower, you'd maybe have a nap if you wanted. I mean, I never used to. I used to be shower, maybe have something to eat, boom, straight to walkies. 8, get there at 8. Game doesn't start until 1. Does it matter? Absolutely
time.
not. No, you go
But-
and you buy too many pints. You buy a beer tower. You buy wings. You buy the lot. You know, honestly, I'm very much. I mean this with no hyperbole. I would like. I don't really care about what I do for my birthday. I don't really care about what I do for Christmas. I don't really care about what I do for New Year's. But my God, Walkie's Super Bowl, that gets the blood pumping. That's what gets the blood pumping for me.
No.
Going there, oh, great times had by all. Do I remember the halftime shows? No, I don't. Do you know what I do remember? Actually, Justin Timberlake. There was a bet on when he was when Justin Timberlake was performing the Super Bowl, so like 3 years ago. I had a bet on one of the prop bets was Justin Timberlake to wear a hat during his performance, right? Justin Timberlake always wears a hat.
Yeah,
I put 20 quid. I put 20 quid on it. That little bastard, no hat. I lost 20 quid because he didn't wear a hat. Can you believe that?
Well, it's just sort of goes to show that whatever you bet on, everyone should bet on the opposite.
Yeah, that's true. That. Oh, I lost a lot of money this year. I lost quite a lot of money this year. Christ. Really? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Not good for me that day. Oh. Not good for me. I think it was about 100 quid. Do you remember a particular colonial in our first year who played on the line? With Dan.
Danny Dennis.
He didn't have to full name him, but all right.
Well, yeah.
How much he put down, and we were all like, what are you talking about? He put down like 350, and we were all like,
he had stupid bets.
I remember he put 50 quid on the coin toss.
I don't know.
He put 50 quid on the coin toss. That's the worst. Right? That's the worst bet. You are. It's literally 50, literally flip of a coin. Literally flip of a coin. Do you mean like this NFL minted coin?
Oh.
Why did I buy that from the Dolphins Jags game? What a great question. Because I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Because when I picked this up, I didn't realize how much it was.
How much did it cost you?
How much do you think this cost me?
I would pay no more than £5 for that item.
Right. Okay. Well, I paid a lot more than £5 for it.
Oh, fuck off!
What I paid £40.
What?
Yeah,
mate.
Yeah, because it's an officially minted one as well.
I don't care if it's officially minted. You've been robbed.
No, bro, you're right. I didn't realise how much it was. I think Hugo mentioned it to me when I was walking, when he was like, I think that was 40 quid. And I was like, And I didn't buy a hoodie. I bought a coin.
You could have bought a hoodie for 40 quid, mate. You'd rather the hoodie.
Ridiculous. I do. The hoodie was really nice. I didn't buy it because I think I spent too much. Honestly, that was the worst part. That was the worst part. That was the worst part about that day. Like, I got to Tottenham, and before the game, before all of the fans came, because we got there at about 9 o'clock in the morning. Before all the fans came, before I'd even had a pint, I'd spent over £200 on merch.
Well, we have had an update, Chris. So,
Hertfordshire Hurricanes playing today. You know, they're keeping it early, ladies and gentlemen. It's 6-6 at halftime between the Hertfordshire Hurricanes and the Sussex Saxons. See, that Sussex Saxons has the same problem as the Coventry Cavalry.
Too many. Yeah, mate. Yeah,
I feel like I've got to stutter. I feel like I've got to stutter every time I say it. Sussex Saxons. Chris Eubank Jr. Sussex Saxons.
Oh no!
Not Junior, normal Chris Eubank.
Don't at him. It'll come for you.
Do you think you could fight Chris Eubank?
No, mate. I reckon it'd spin my jaw.
I've not had someone say spin my jaw in a while.
But you would be very polite about it.
Oh no, we got a update. Leeds, Beckett, Carnegie have got a touchdown for Nick Alberto. Alberto makes the short run play into the end zone on the next play. The 2 point is incomplete. Carnegie 6, Durham Saints 0.
If we can bring up that picture, if this picture that they've tweeted out is actually like, the touchdown that they've just scored, that's a great picture to have. So
see, here we go. This is a little update from here. I knew that Hertfordshire went down. Hertfordshire Hurricanes went down from the Prem, and the Sussex Saxons were in Div 2, and they are now currently neck and neck at half time. Does this mean that Hertfordshire's got their? Does this mean that Hertfordshire's back on track? Does it mean that Sussex Saxons were the right people to be promoted? It's certainly looking like that. Hopefully they've got it all in the bag, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully they've got it all in the bag. So, Don, what's your thoughts on? Obviously, when you look at the NFL and you look at college ball, especially in the NFL, relegation.
Okay.
Do you think relegation works?
Yeah. I mean, what sort of context? Like,
well, you look at the NFL. They've got conferences, and the conferences don't change. No, they don't. They might change if a new team comes into the league. That's very, very few and far between. So obviously you're not playing. You're playing the same people. You're going to have 2 games a year against the same people every year. But now in Uniball, that's not the case. You can be relegated. You can go down. I personally think that basically because of the ever-changing landscape of Uniball, I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, the way I say it as well, you can't just keep it like with those sort of conferences. Mainly because if there's those players that, or these teams that are on the rise, and they could just sort of like benefit from more funding, they can sort of push for that if they can be promoted to the higher divisions, and so like, look, we want to fight for it, but like we need better equipment, we need better funding, but you can't do that if it's just the same conference. It sort of like means nothing, especially with us where we don't have like a bowl game, we have playoffs, but it means very little. So I think like the relegations and sort of quite.
Right then, would you implement bowl games? Would you have like would you put more emphasis on sort of the derby games, or because like realistically our version of that is varsity, but varsity doesn't really count for a whole lot. It's normally just it's the ability to have one more game, which is great for people who they've played their last league game. They're gonna graduate. It's just a bit of opportunity to have a bit of fun,
I mean, sure. I mean, I'd love to see more bowl games implemented. Just because that means more football. But I still don't think just doing that would help the whole thing. With just because of the ever-changing nature of of players, it wouldn't help really that much in playing at an ability where it is competitive. Because that's what it really is for, to be honest. That's what the relegation is for, to making sure they're playing in a division where they can compete and don't just get 60 points put up on every single.
That is true. Unless you're the Puff Jets, apparently.
Yeah.
No, they did get relegated. Now they're losing again. So, what are your thoughts on old boys games? Because I think that it's very interesting.
I only ever played one in my 3 years playing at Lincoln. I only played one of them. I like the idea, and the one I did play was good. But I mean, it's a bit of a mess of a day, Steve. No, because half the people that you come back to the old boys game, they haven't played. Some of them don't even play anymore. They say, "Yeah, why not? I'll play that again."
Yeah, but that's what makes it funny. The Covjet. No, we don't have the Covjet scoring, Steve. But they've lost their last 9. Is what I was referencing. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, because it's just nice to have a bit of legacy, ladies and gentlemen. That's what matters. It's just nice to have a little tiny bit of legacy. Because you don't have any. Apparently, my legacy is a game we do at Welcome Social. That's all on my legacy is. At the Lincoln Colonials, and you know what? I'll take it. Unbelievable. What's yours? Throwing an int on a pitch. Yes, I got it in. Yes.
I thought you were throwing a plastic BK bottle in Quack, but no.
Oh my God, Dom, you're gonna love this.
I've just seen it.
Sterling Klansmen get their first win of the season, dominating the Leeds Griffins. Griffins who have lost. This is now their second loss. They are now the bottom of that division. They are, they need to pull their finger out if they want any chance of having any sort of success this season. Klansmen on the right track. Obviously, the stat line from the previous 2019-2020 season, Sterling Klansmen came second in the div after winning their last 5 games. Sterling Klansmen are back on that path to do that.
I'd love to see it. My money's on the Klansmen for this division now.
How much money? Do you want to do a bet right now?
No, I don't.
I bet you that I can come to Sunday dinner. How about that?
Oh, do you mean the Sunday dinner that I'm going to after this again?
Yeah,
yeah, it's 3 Sunday dinners in a row, mate. I'm getting that O-lineman diet.
Yeah, I can see that, mate.
So I weighed myself the other day, Chris. I wasn't happy about it. 104 kg, mate. No, 104 kg, mate.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is in American.
In American, it's about maybe about 210.
Well, so Dom, how about you stop being so fattest? I've not weighed myself in ages because I don't want to, because I'll depress myself.
But as a receiver,
well, here's the thing, Dom. You never know what people are going through, with their weight. I can tell you what I'm going through, though.
Go on.
3 tins of Pringles. Don't put prawn cocktail on sale, ladies and gentlemen, because
it's Chris's weakness.
Not ideal for me.
I remember going to the library back late night session in the library. We just take it in rice fusions and the Pringles. Tub after tub, mate.
Honestly, library sessions are the absolute
worst.
They're the worst thing for any person trying to be a student athlete, because you will be sat in the library and you'll be like, oh God, this is really boring. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat 4 tin of Pringles. And the problem with the Lincoln one, there's a Mackey's over the road. 24-hour Mackey's over the road. You're done. You want to stay in shape, don't go to Mackey's when you're doing stuff like that. Let's have a look. Have we got any more?
I was going to say, Chris, what do you think is the biggest thing about finding that balance when you're being a student athlete, we call it? But
that is a very, very good question. It's basically making sure that you're not just turning up to training. You're not just, that's the only exercise you get. It's having other things to make sure you don't get injured, because that's the biggest thing. Whenever you talk to coaches or any other members of staff, let's just put this one. I'll continue my answer. It's full time. Nottingham Trent have not been able to secure their revenge win over Loughborough. Loughborough 22, Nottingham Renegades 20.
Okay. They've done well to come back there. To be fair, they were down.
They have done well.
I think they were down 22-6 at one point, weren't they? So
something like that. I think it's you need, when you speak to head coaches, when they talk about going to the gym outside of the workout, it's to prevent injury, to make sure your body's strong enough to deal with the contact that you will be facing when you play American football, and that's what you need to calculate. But also, people will tell you you're at uni to get a degree. Oh yeah, no, you're there to have a good time. Don't lie to yourself. So what I'd say is just keep it balanced. Go out as much as you'd like to, but don't have a home game mentality. You know, if you're coming back from a game and you feel like you deserve something, have something, but don't. I know it's tempting to get a Mackies every day, but don't. That's basically it. Just basically. Because, if you get injured while you're at uni, it's a pain. It's a pain. I can speak from experience. It's an absolute pain in the backside to have to get around everywhere on crutches.
Yeah.
Absolute pain. If you want to go anywhere, you have to get a taxi, and it's a pain. So you're basically making sure, by going to the gym, you're making sure that your education is not going to be strained due to the fact you've got an injury. So that's basically what I'd put in the student balance. You've got to think about yourself, your happiness, and your education. So here we go. We've got another score. Half time. The Titans and the Cobras, the Swansea Titans and the Cardiff Cobras are drawn at half time 6-6. Will we get? Okay, Dom, this is a great question for you. So I was speaking to a friend of mine, he's a coach. He said to me that last week they had an overtime loss.
Okay.
Which is strange to me because last week in the Surrey game, I believe, there was a 14-14 draw. And I don't believe there was overtime. I don't believe overtime is a thing anymore for Uniball. Because I remember in my final year of Lincoln, we had a draw against someone. I forget who. But what are your thoughts? Should we have overtime? Should we keep it as draws?
Yeah, I mean, you got the as long as you got the facilities, and there's floodlights available, and there's no reason not to. Yeah, of course, because you don't want to waste it on a bloody draw. It just seems pointless. So if you can play another quarter, do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, exactly. It's only another quarter. If that goes, we're not Uniball. We're not going to have double, triple, quadruple, octuple.
It'd be there all day with some teams. You know what I mean? So,
what's that supposed to mean?
Some teams struggle to get the ball moving. That's all. So I don't know. It's just one of them. It's and now I also feel like we were robbed of our win.
Yeah, that's fair. So this is one we covered earlier. For everyone watching who is just tuning in, Keel Crusaders have been awarded a walkover victory due to injuries at Chester. We've been told that the Chester side only fielded 20 players, and obviously once injuries start affecting that team, there's not very much you can do apart from give a walkover victory, which I think that is a big win for Keel. Jesus Christ. Div 2 Midlands is coming in. Alex Holm, I hope I pronounced that right. DMU 43, Staffordshire Stallions 6. It is a running clock. We're going to focus on this game first of all. I think that Chester put up a great deal of pressure towards Nottingham Green last week. They put up a great fight. And if that was the same case as last week, where there wasn't a number of players, that just means that the Chester effort was a lot better than we thought. However, this week it simply wasn't able to succeed due to the amount of injuries. Now let's go on to this, because I've seen something that has made me very happy. Lineman fumble recovery for a touchdown, living the dream. Oh my Lord above! Good on you, DMU. I guess. No, I'm joking.
I guess. Oh.
Here we go. Yeah. So DMU Lions 43, Staffordshire Stallions 6. It's a running clock, which means that game will probably be ending quicker than we think it would be. That is a madness. I simply cannot believe that stat line. DMU seem to have come back from Div 1 with a vengeance. Basically, I'll say it. They're thrashing Staffordshire here. They very well could put a 50 burger on the first team to get a 50 burger this season. It's really interesting. It's Div 2 is going to be really interesting. Back to what I was saying about the Kill Crusaders Chester, I think due to how well Chester played last week against Nottingham Green, I think this is a big win for Kiel. Defense for scoring as much as the offense. See, and that is how you get a complete football team. DMU, oh god, I don't know if I want to go down for Lincoln DMU now. I might cry. But that is it seems that DMU is coming back. DMU are coming back, and they've come back down. And I think it's going to be an interesting division. You know, I would have said that if that game happened later on in the season, Staffordshire had a few wins behind them, and so did DMU. It would have been a game to watch, but having it in week 3. And that's interesting. It really does pry open the division for lots of people. It'll be interesting to see how Chester or Chester or Kiel or even Huds, especially considering that Staffordshire put 60 on Huds last week. How are Huds going to face DMU? Unfortunately, not. It was a deciding game. Oh, is that why, Alex? So apparently that game was the deciding game in the 2019 DMU Div 2 win. But we've got another touchdown for DMU. It could be a 50 burger on the first 50 burger.
49.6 wet PAT Panda, I assume.
Oh my lord! Are they about to have 50 burger? The first 50 burgers. Oh my god, they've been 50 burgered. This is unbelievable. I can't believe this. It's going to be a struggle, ladies and gentlemen. But there is a wild card, ladies and gentlemen, in Div 2 Midlands. The one team that simply has not played yet. The wild card, the Lincoln Colonials. This is going to be a tough schedule, ladies and gentlemen. Midlands Div 2 is looking real spicy. And there we go. Alex Holm, seems to have confirmed it. Oh no, it's even worse. He seems to have confirmed it. DMU have 50 burgered, the first 50 burger of the 21-22 season by putting 51 points on the Staffordshire Stallions. It is now 6 Staffordshire Stallions, 51 DMU Lions. Now we got a clip here from Kent, and they seem to be wearing 2 different kits.
How'd you go about doing
that? Why? Oh gosh, they are, aren't they?
What happens? Yeah, you can't get away with that, surely.
Get away with that? How'd you get away with that? Oh my lord. Here we go. Jonathan coming in, telling us it is 6-6 at half time for the old Welsh Bowl, the Cardiff Cobras and Swansea Titans 6-6. And then Amanda coming in, telling us that the SGS are living up to the potential. And that is apparently at half time. SGS Pride beat the Bath Killer Bees 52-0. As she's told, that might not be confirmed, but it's good enough. We don't have anything on that game. Another 50 burger, 50 burger after 50 burger. SGS Pride dominating the Bath Killer Bees. It looks like, well, we don't know. We cannot confirm, but we will find out, ladies and gentlemen. SGS Pride 52, Bath Killer Bees 0.
Honestly, good statement about SGS Pride.
Midlands too. And here we go. DMU, pat yourselves on the back. 51-6 full time. They have 50 burger, the first 50 burger. And this really, as far as I'm concerned, is worrying for Midlands Div 2 and especially realistically, I'm sorry to out you guys, Huddersfield Hawks. This is going to be, like it could be stressful. But you have to look at it, Dom. Staffordshire beat them by 60 points, or 60. True. They put 62 points on them last week. And then the team that beat them 62, gets 51 points laid on them. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be interesting to see when DMU go to Huddersfield. It's going to be interesting to see how the addition of the Lincoln Colonials is going to affect that next week when they play their first game against Nottingham Green. Nottingham Green, they didn't play. Chester Legion have had to hand over a walkover victory to Kiel due to injuries on the Chester side. Never like to see it, but not how you want to win at all, but a big win for Kiel nonetheless. Staffordshire dropped to 1-1 in that division. What are your thoughts on it, Dom? What are your thoughts on Midlands Div 2 right now?
I mean, I don't know where it's going to go. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how the Colonials can do next week against the Green. That'll sort of tell us where. I think when we see how they do, I think that's going to tell us exactly how this season will probably play out. We can probably make predictions from that point. But yeah, I mean, we thought the Stallions did a great job last week, and to come in and get beaten this badly by DMU is just insane to me, to be fair. So
it's what Staffordshire's got to do now is they've got to reload. They've got to really sort themselves out. Obviously, last week coming off a huge high, beating a team like that. Now to lose like that, never good. Never a good way to lose. It could be a Colonials 2018 season, but nothing's worse than that, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing.
I don't know what we're talking about. We didn't have a season that season.
We didn't have a year. We didn't have a season that year. Isn't that the truth? With DMU are back, it's gonna be real interesting. Oh, here we go. We got another update. Pardon me. That was quite a loud burp. I do apologise. The Hull Sharks Northumbria Mustangs game currently suspended. No reason currently given, but we're gonna think it's an injury. Never good. Never ever good to see something like that happen. Don't like games getting called off. Don't as much as contact sport, keep yourself safe all times. Make sure you got your helmet strapped in. Some people don't. I don't, but don't listen to me. My helmet's always loose.
We've missed the score, Chris. I've just seen.
I was busy doing these scores, Dom.
Mate, honestly, Durham touchdown, mate.
Durham has scored.
Yeah. So
what about PAT? You got anything on that?
Yep. So they got the PAT is good. So then Max Watson kicks extra point. It's now Durham 7 and Leeds Beckett 6. So
that's interesting. Leeds Beckett, obviously last week, putting on a dominating performance against the Griffins. Griffins who have just lost to the Stirling Clansmen, who were 0-2, now 1-2. It's going to be interesting to see if Durham Saints can do anything to stop Leeds Beckett. I'm even surprised by that scoreline, but hopefully they can keep it all together there. Now, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Just another bit of extra information on the Leeds Beckett game. So roughing the kicker penalty is added to Durham's kickoff, which was a failed onside kick. Do you like that they went for onside kick that early, Chris?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I love it.
I do because obviously you get that extra yardage from the roughing the kicker. They'll put you in okay field position even if it goes wrong. How'd you go for it?
Yeah, I like it.
How'd you go for it? Why not?
What are you really got to lose? It's either you get the ball back or you put it in not a bad position, but one you can still defend. So,
right, I'm going to have to ask our man in the booth to come on while I quickly use the toilet because I've drank too much peach squash, if you can believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Too much peach squash. Too much peach squash. So I'm going to depart for a hot second.
Sorry, I'll just put my mic on. I'm just watching some footage. I'll get it up. Durham Saints TD.
Oh, okay.
Is clever. Well, it wasn't necessarily a great play call, but it was a very good execution by the players. Let me just get it up. A sec. Right, there we go. Watch this.
Screen it as well.
So QB boots round to the left, decides to go for it, tucks the ball, pitches it to I think a lineman who runs it in.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Hold on, the
Big man
information they
took
put
chance.
on it. First touchdown of the season, number 65, King Julian. That's his handle. Julian Nicholas is his name. He's number 65, which leads me to think he's a lineman.
Yeah,
obviously.
I've that's a lineman, isn't it? So it's...
Yeah. I mean, yeah, his position on the play. How good's that? Fantastic for him.
Yeah, it's a great play.
And them just to, so and that put them a point. Well, obviously the PAT after that put them a point in front. So yeah, not too bad going there. But,
that's great.
Right, let me just have. I just want to have a read through the scores.
Okay.
Just everything that we've got. There's some more stuff coming through, but I just want to. There's a few games we don't have scores for, but I'll do a rundown of them. So we've got obviously from yesterday the Bullets, the UE Bullets, 52 to 0 against the Birmingham Lions. Big shocking game you guys already talked about, and then from today. We've got Leeds Griffins 2, Sterling Klansman 32. That's a full-time result. Obviously Beckett, Leeds Beckett in the and Durham Saints is 6-7. We just saw the Durham Saints TD to make that 7. In the Premier South, it's half-time between the Swansea Titans and the Cardiff Cobras at 6-all. Across to the Borders, 1 game suspended, but the latest score we have for that was Hull Sharks 2, Northumbria Mustangs 10. I don't think the game's restarted yet, but it could have done. Depends if they, do a post about it. Then in the Northern one, Sheffield Hallam Warriors 16, Manchester Tyrants 22. I'm fairly sure that one's at halftime as well. We don't have a score for the LJMU Fury versus the Derby Braves. That game apparently kicked off at 1. So if anyone can give us a score for that, that would be handsome. Down to the Midlands one. Coventry Jets and Leicester Longhorns. Again, another game we don't have a score for. Leicester had to concede a walkover last week. Oh, no. That was the game that was a walkover and then it changed, wasn't it? It was. Yeah. So that was their home game against Loughborough. NTU and Loughborough in a close one. So 22-20 to Loughborough in the end. That one's full time. Good game. That with lead with the lead changing hands a couple of times. And there was, huge celebrations from Loughborough afterwards. I see that, the footage on Instagram. Southwest 1, Bath Killer Bees nothing, and SGS Pride 52. This is I think there's going to be a common story throughout this season. They're going to 50 burger and shut out everyone. I can't see them being contested until they get up to the Prem, and even then, I don't know. Well, from what I saw yesterday of UE, that was a decent team, So I don't quite think SGS Pride are at that level, but they're certainly Premiership self,
Of course, yeah.
I would say. Yeah, well, I was going to say they'll definitely make the playoffs, but it's not that hard in the Prem because you either get relegated or you're in the playoffs. It's like last one drops out. I think 5th place drops out. The top 4 go into the playoffs, which is stupid. Yeah, it always winds me up. But and that was like to your point about Sterling, right?
Yeah.
Like all you need to do is the league doesn't really matter. You just need to beat the person that's bottom twice. And the rest of your games don't really matter, obviously, unless they beat other people. But technically, the worst team in the division, if you beat them twice, you're in the playoffs. You're in the semi-final as well. So you've just got to win 2 games to win the whole thing, right? So it's I think the format's quite broken. Top 4 into playoffs. Yeah, that's what happens. So you end up the top 4 from both sides, from the north and the south, play off against each other. And then the finals, the game after that. Sorry, anyway, moving on. Where was I? I was at SGS, wasn't I? I can't even see where I am now. Yeah. Then we got Southampton Stags versus the Reading Knights. Now, I did see a couple of posts about that, but then it's all gone quiet on Instagram. So I've got no updates on that one. That should have been a 2:30 kickoff. Down to Southern 1. We know that Hertfordshire Hurricanes and the Sussex Saxons were tied at 6. The last update we had. That's a hell of a game. And I know we've had like the time off and everything, but the Saxons to get promoted from Div 2 and then go, toe to toe with a Premiership level team. Because I felt that the Hertfordshire Hurricanes were probably a bit too good to get relegated, but I know because of like coronavirus, things have all changed. But yeah, really surprising result to see that one. It's good, a good result for Sussex. Portsmouth versus the Portsmouth Destroyers and the Royal Holloway Bears. That game was postponed. In the southeastern one, we've got Brunel Burners versus the Imperial Immortals. 1 o'clock kickoff, no score. So there's a few we got no score from. So guys, if you're out there and you know anyone from any of these games, try and find out. That'd be great. We just had Steve Guy drop a score, and then Edinburgh. Oh, we got a couple of scores drop in, which is great. Let me just finish these scores, and we'll come back to it. Well, actually, one of them's there. So Edinburgh Napier Knights in the Borders 2. They're 38-0 up against the Heriot Wolverines.
Okay, so that's definitely evening clock or full time then.
It's yeah. So we don't know. Tracy, if you could let us know if that's a full time score, it probably is, given that it was a 1 o'clock kickoff. So yeah, and particularly where it went to running clock, So likely to be full time. Sunderland Spartans and the YSJ Jaguars, if you guys have already said, was a 1-0 walkover. Another game we don't have a score for that kicked off at 1 is the Glasgow Tigers versus the Aberdeen Bulls in Borders 2. Moving down to Northern 1, Bangor Mud Dogs and UClan Rams. That's a 5 o'clock kickoff. Tracy has just confirmed, thank you Tracy, that it is a full-time score. So the Edinburgh Napier Knights win 38-0 over the Heriot Wolverines. So good job to them. Sorry, I lost where I was. Bangor Mud Dogs. We're waiting for the kickoff for that, although we'll probably be offline when that goes. Bradford Bears and the Aberystwyth Thunder. Again, a 4 o'clock. I can't speak Welsh. They're due to kick off any minute. I can barely say Aberystwyth. I'd rather know the English word for that. That one's due to kick off in the next 4 minutes. Then in Midlands 2, which is quite an exciting division, but 2 of the games are a walkover. So Nottingham Green versus the Huddersfield Hawks. We don't have a reason for that one. But it was late. We were late notified about it, which is really unfortunate for them. And then the other walkover was sadly an injury walkover. Chester Legion didn't have enough players to compete after picking up a series of injuries. They had low squad numbers anyway, and the Kiel Crusaders take the 1-0 walkover there. The other game that was played in that division, you guys have talked about it quite a lot. DMU 50, Staffordshire's Stallions 6. Amazing game. I know you guys don't tend to like DMU because you've got this like.
I don't even talk about.
I've always liked them because. Well, so Tyler, that used to be part of Gridiron Hub, he was the DMU QB when they got promoted from Div 2 to Div 1, and he was part of. So I was like following them along and getting really excited. And then I don't think he's there anymore, but their head coach was Stuart Franklin as a player. I've had a number of battles against a fantastic quarterback, so I just sort of always like warmed to them, and I was a bit disappointed when they had such a bad season in Div 1. So good to see them, in better form from my perspective. I know you two would like spit as I say that, but that's fine. We can't all like the same things. Then we go right Southwestern 2, the UE Pellets, or I think the official name is the Bullets 2, but we call them the Pellets. Lost 22-6 to the Bournemouth Bobcats. So Bournemouth go 3-0 under head coach Steve Rains, or also the head coach of the Solent Thrashers. The guy just all he does is win. And he's I've played under Steve Rains for a number of years. Fantastic coach, and a friend of mine. And just great to see him do it at uni. His first head coach role at Uniball. He was involved in Uniball with the Sheffield Sabres a number of years ago, but was like a special teams or some sort of coordinator. But this is his first proper head coach appointment, so he's done really well there. And in a very short period of time, they didn't have much of a pre-season, did they? Obviously.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, neither did anyone. But I'm just saying, like, it was, he done
Unless,
really well.
Unless you're the Lincoln Colonials who's still in your preseason and
Yeah,
played them this week.
they did have a yeah, they've got a ridiculously extended one. Gloucester Gladiators 2, Bath Spa 8. That's our Bath Spa Bulldogs 8. That's our last score update there. Bath Spa Bulldogs are another team I've got a bit of a soft spot for, just covering the Uniball for a number of years now, like 3 or 4 years. They were the whipping boys, and then the last season they just started winning. I think they won 1 or 2 games, and we were like, oh, they've won, and so it's just cool. I've just always had a soft spot for them because I like to see teams getting better and improving. The Royals, the Worcester Royals versus the Solent Redhawks. That game was postponed. Again, we don't know the outcome of that. Like new date hopefully, but if not, it'll be a walkover. We'll see that. Them down to Southern 2, OBU Panthers and the Winchester Silverbacks. That game was postponed due to the Silverbacks not being able to travel, likely to end up being a walkover.
Yeah, probably.
So they couldn't travel because their bus didn't turn up. So
that was that one. Of course.
Yeah. So they did a post on Instagram that sort of said like everyone's getting ready to go, and they all stood in a car park with their bags. It was obviously the car park in Winchester. Waiting to be picked up, but still don't know the outcome of that. I don't know the rules either. I'm not going to speculate, but I think, that is speculation. I do think it's going to be a walkover to the Panthers. Oxford Lancers, Chichester Spitfires, 3 p.m. kickoff. No score for that. So if someone could let us know, that'd be great. And then where are we? Sorry,
the Emperors.
Oh yeah. UCL versus Brighton, that game was postponed. That was due to we think a waterlogged pitch. They just said pitch wasn't suitable.
It could be anything.
And then, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. It could be like pitch markings or dog shit all over it. Who knows? Southeastern 2, Cambridge Pythons 15, Canterbury Phoenix.
Well, we have just had that change.
Sorry, we've got an update from Steve. So sorry, thanks for that. So Cambridge Pythons 21, Canterbury Phoenix 6 full time. So congrats to the Pythons there. And then we've got Kent Falcons versus Greenwich. Now that game is underway, and it hadn't kicked off too long ago. So hopefully we'll have a score for that in soon. But that's everything. Yeah. And Tebb is back, so I'm gonna leave you.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. Anyway, so.
You're welcome.
Hey, Tebb.
There you go, Tebb. That's how you do it, mate. That's how you do it.
What?
That's how you read out scores.
Yeah, man, I had to go to the toilet. It's my toilet coat. It's my toilet coat, mate. Yeah.
Also, before we continue to talk absolute waffle that we have been doing the entire day, Lewis, thanks for the update. Manchester Hallam 30-24. It's good. That sounds like a good offensive game. I like that. I want to see more of those.
No more walkovers, ladies and gentlemen. No more
walkovers.
Shutouts.
Stop being walked over.
Yeah. Stop being shut out. It's boring.
Yeah,
I want to see scores.
Do
updates. do better football. Actually, it's too hot for me to wear this. As much as it's funny, it's roasted.
Yeah. Is that yours? Like
roasted.
Your real fluffy coat? Mate?
I've got 2 now.
Love it. Just trying to see who the.
Have you? Oh no, we've already done that one. Sorry.
Stupid.
True, you've been stupid.
I looked at Manchester Hallam. I was like, yeah, that's one team. No, that's Manchester Tyrants and then Sheffield Hallam.
Sheffield Hallam.
Yeah.
Oh dearie me! Back-to-back turnovers there in the Manchester
in
the Tyrants Hallam game. So that's what you like to see. That's why more people need to go to Uniball games. A, to give us the scores, and B, it's actually quite interesting if you get the right one.
If you like football,
come on, man! Come on, man! Like if I'd made poor life choices and ended up at DMU, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry, DMU. I don't mean that. I don't.
There's gonna be a DMU slander compilation at the end of this.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And if I even see, look, Lewis has got the same thing I am. Just the senior season's over. I just want some football. Just give me, please, some football. That's all I want.
I like that. Right? Manchester scored. Oh, look at that. Bad turnovers lead to
Manchester
Manchester
against all that,
score.
but
Okay.
So that'll end up being currently 36-24, but we will see how the extra point goes. Lewis will keep us all up to date with that. Oh, full time. See this, we've got another very, very close game. It is 8 Imperial Immortals, 0 Brunel Burners. Now, if I remember correctly, the last Imperial game was also a very almost single digits, even if it was single digits. This is quite an open question, Dom.
Okay.
Let me see if my connection is. Quite an open question. Why do you think that? Why do you think the defense is better this year? Is it because the offense is simply harder to learn for people who are just coming in?
I don't know. I can't really comment on that, to be honest. On that last statement, anyway. Yeah, because I've not played defense. I've never tried to learn a defensive playbook, but I mean, I know for a receiver, it can be quite hard for new people to learn every route that you need to do. What exactly what you need to be doing in each play, it can be quite a lot for someone to try and learn. So that is maybe it, but who really knows?
So we've got another score update for you now. Leeds, Beckett Carnegie take the lead with a 2-point conversion, 14-7. Leeds, Beckett Carnegie score a touchdown, score the 2 points, and they are currently in the lead in Durham. See, I think that probably is it.
Might be a back and forth game, you know. Looks like it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I do think that. There you go. The 2 points.
The Manchester Tyrants game. Okay, love to see it.
Is it? Oh, perfect. So what's that going to end up being? Let me find it. 37. I want to say 24. Yeah. 37-24. Perfect.
You're
perfect.
Right.
Yep. I think that probably is it. Defenses just stop the ball. Just stop the ball. It sounds silly, but that's what it is. But if you have some good key leaders on the defensive side of the ball, it's a lot easier. It could very well be that more defensive people have stuck around in places like Imperial that just simply don't allow for that to happen. Obviously, places like DMU, they've obviously kept some of the key pieces that put them in the Premiership to begin with. They've obviously kept some of those, managed to keep some of those. To be able to put up big numbers. Obviously, SGS Pride is a completely different beast in itself by being, linked with the Pride and having, they tout that they've got people from their program who are now in the NFL or in the NCAA. They proudly tout that. So they're a completely different beast comparatively to pretty much every other team in the league. And I'd have to agree with Steve. I think that the Premiership is going to be their big test. Obviously, they were put into Div 1 straight from the off. Realistically, just because the potential that was seen in them meant that if they were to go to Div 2, it would be quite a monumentous struggle for anyone going against them there. But it is strange. They've probably got it on both sides of the ball. But I'm one of those people who thinks, as much as offense sells tickets, defense wins championships, and I do believe that particular statement, and that goes the same for Britball, Uniball. Sorry, not Britball. I was going to ask you what's been your shocker of the day, but I think it's the same for both of us, to be honest.
The Stallions game, mate.
Yeah, it's not difficult there.
Shocker! Shocker chose a Midlands 2 game, but
I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop loving the Midlands 2. I'll tell you that now. Never ever going to stop loving Midlands 2.
No, I think you can tell, mate.
Mate, make me the ambassador for Midlands 2. I'll get you seats.
I think you already are, mate. You're the one.
Me, just me.
Look.
All right, Dom. This is a good question because it doesn't happen much in Uniball. What is it? How do you think having people there to support you helps you on the field? Because obviously in Britball it's completely different to the NFL because obviously they've got stadiums full of people. Like at Britball games, you might get 30, something like
Maybe.
that. Uniball a lot less. Did it help you, or did you cast out your mind when you had people there to watch you?
To be fair, I've never really paid attention to the people, to spectators. To be honest, like it's always been alright if someone comes down and watch you, but when I'm actually playing a game, I pretty much ignore them. I'll be honest. But I don't know, that's the way I do it. I block out everyone, just focus on what I'm doing. To be honest.
I think that's the right way to go. Because I remember the Colonials played the Cambridge Pythons in a preseason game, and there was a D tackle whose family was there because he was from Cambridge, and he had like one of the best games of his Uniball career, and I just think that was interesting because no one came to root for me, but I would have played. I don't get any snaps anyway, so.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's interesting, like, because we can't really quantify if it helps or not in Britball or Uniball just based on the fact that we can't really. Not many people turn up, which is why, ladies and gentlemen, you need to turn up to these games. Support your local Uniball team, support your local Britball team. Get us to scores. It is a good time. Good times had. Buy all. You can have a beer, maybe. Treat yourself.
Maybe
on the sideline. Get a taxi home there. Be responsible. But yeah, and if you're a head coach, don't drink when you're on the pitch, please.
Is that you say that you've seen that happen? Have you seen that happen?
I've seen that happen. Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Oh dear, that's
not
what you want.
It's like I do understand people's need for a cigarette, but it's when people like start smoking at half time. You're like, please stop that.
Doesn't look good, does it? Setting the example for the team as an athlete. He's there chain smoking on the sideline.
Oh, apparently Lewis has broken in with another message. It's one of those games where it's no officials, which I imagine means that the coaches have sort of come together, reached an arrangement, and they are officiating the game. That has happened to us multiple times, but at least you won't have someone telling you that there's dog shit on the field.
Okay, the Sharks let themselves down today against Northumbria Mustangs as they win 10-2 against the Sharks. That's
again a very defensive game. It looks like 2-10. Hull Sharks being able to get that safety, but not much else or anything else for that matter, because they got two. A cheeky little two there. Let's have a look at Twitter. What's Twitter saying to us? Hopefully it's quite a lot.
Twitter has been.
There's certainly. You say that, Dom. But I can tell you now, it is touchdown Durham. Sloan scores with a short run into the end zone. Watson levels the score for an extra point. That game leads Beckett Carnegie 14, Durham Saints 14.
So it's going to be a very back and forth match. I reckon it's going to be. I mean, it's looking that way really.
I think that's going to be good, but I think it's going to. I think this more spells trouble for the Leeds Griffins here. They got dominated last week by Carnegie, and that now they've at some point they're going to have to face the Durham Saints, who seem to be giving Carnegie more of a challenge than they did. It's.
Well, yeah,
they very well could. It very well could be that Leeds could be going down. The boys up in Stirling, staying up in the Prem. Just like Dom likes. All that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You threw me
Sterling,
in yeah. Big up Sterling.
You need a cup of tea, mate. That's what you need.
Mate, it was a late night for me last night, So yeah, I do need.
Were you out last night? Unbelievable.
No, mate, I wasn't out last night. I did a favour and worked a bar, and which I don't usually do. It was just stayed open late, didn't it? So Not
I'm so sorry that you worked the bar once. I'm so sorry.
As well as, mate. Oh wow, you disgusting me.
Some people have to do that for their job.
Yeah, well, let's do it as a day off, mate. Do it as
You're
extracurricular activities, mate.
Professional. I was going to read out the scores, but Steve's already done that. So
yeah, we've already done that, mate. We don't need you. If I wanted to, I'll just kick you out. Invite Steve back to read the scores next time. Really good job, mate.
All right, mate. I don't trust people who only wear hats to cover up their hairline. I
didn't wear a hat last week.
And you painted it on.
Oh yeah. How did you know?
So, Dom, would you say that? How? Sorry, no, not even. Would you say? How much would you say that the pitches make a difference in Uniball? Because obviously, there are some teams who play on normal grass. There are some teams that play on 3G. Have you found in your experience playing? Because you've had more years than I have. Do you think it makes a difference on what surface that you play on?
Yeah, man. Like just having a different turf under your foot, it makes a difference in like how like. So I mean, I could put this more into like. So, I've been doing some receiving coaching, working on like breaks and routes and stuff like that lately, and we started on grass and we've shifted to renting a 4G pitch, using that instead. And honestly, the improvement that you can see just from changing the turf has made such a difference, and it feels better. You're more comfortable breaking down on it, and like, you know what I mean, mud shifts like like you can't like, but if wet astroturf is still fine. You know what I mean? So I feel like it has a massive impact on like how well you play if you're not used to playing on grass. You know,
I'd say especially due to the fact with Uniballs played in the winter.
It's winter, yeah. It's fucking freezing cold, frozen grass. You're slipping everywhere, mate.
Oh, there we go. So it is now 38-30 in the Hallam-Manchester game. Sheffield Hallam scored, making it a little bit closer. We are awaiting Lewis to tell us what the extra point is, but while that is going on, we've got another score update from a battle in Wales. The Swansea Titans have got 6 and the Cardiff Cobras 12. It seems to be the Sheffield Hallam are not going to let the interception that was thrown on the interception and then the subsequent score put a dampener on them, because they have come back, making it 38-30. Extra point is no good. It stays 38-30, which makes it even harder for Sheffield Hallam to come back in that game, but not impossible.
Also, Chris, just to let you know, just another update from the Leeds Beckett game. Tweeted out, what a touchdown. Alberta throws a dime to Menchan. That's how I'm going to pronounce that. Sorry if it's wrong. Who beat his man to score in the corner in style. And they scored 2 points, so that makes that 22-14.
So you see there that they've obviously got goalposts.
Yeah.
You've obviously got goalposts there. Do you think that not having a kicker allows you to open up the playbook a bit more when you're in the red zone, or would you rather the security of having a kicker?
I've got the security, man. Like, you can't, like, if you can guarantee yourself, well, a point after, or a 3 points on a field goal after you've had like a good drive, that makes all the difference. Like, I mean, in a lost season, if we just had a kicker, we'd have had a much different season. Wouldn't have changed any outcomes probably, but we wouldn't have gone scoreless. So.
That is completely fair. I don't even remember who our kicker was that year, to be honest.
It was still Craig Pat, wasn't it? Or was it the other guy? There was someone else, wasn't it? Harry? Harry's name? I don't remember. Either way, if it wasn't
He's a
Patrick,
kicker. What do you expect?
he wasn't. If he wasn't Patrick, it wasn't scoring any field goals.
That's true. What I just remember. Honestly, I remember being on the pitch, DMU away. We were, I think it was maybe a touchdown down, and he was lining up for an onside. He was practicing for an onside, and I was so excited. An onside kick when you're down. Nothing spicier. Let's check Twitter. Let's see what it's saying. Let's see if we got any updates here.
So,
Let me check. It's not doing it for me.
nah, nothing really. Just Durham has called a timeout. Yeah, timeout. Durham.
They've called a timeout. There's not much. We have got another. We got another score update. Another cheeky little score here. Oh my God! What's Lewis is telling us madness. But let's stay on this one first. Gloucestershire Gladiators 2, the Bath Spa Bulldogs take away a victory here with 8. Now Lewis is telling us now that I believe that's probably
that's
a Manchester
quick score.
That's a very quick
that's
save.
Manchester Tyrants.
Manchester Titans have come back around. They have scored big here very quickly, keeping it fresh, keeping it light, keeping it ready to go. Let me see. I don't know what that last comment was. So, there we go. We got another score. 2 points is good for Manchester. It's 46-30. Manchester Tyrants, Sheffield Hallam. Pete Nicol coming in, making sure that everyone knows it's Hull 2, Northumbria 10 at full time. Now back to the battle in Wales. Swansea Titans 6, Cardiff Cobras 18. Cardiff Cobras seem to be taking away that lead for the game that started relatively slow for both teams. They seem to be running away with the ball here, running away with the game. They're ready to go to walkabout later. Maybe. Probably not. Do they? Yeah, I don't think. Do they have walkabouts in Wales? Of course they do. What sort of question is that?
What, walkabouts in Wales?
Yeah, of course they do. I don't know why as well.
I'm not.
Yeah, I imagine so. How many times have you been to Wales?
Quite a few times. I live next to it. As you said earlier.
Yeah.
To be fair, actually, I mainly go to Wales to go to the beach, to be fair, so
They've got beaches. At the beach. They've got beaches in Wales.
Yes, mate, there's a coast. What do you expect?
Beach.
They're not very good. They're all right. It's a beach. It's sand and it's sea. There's jellyfish everywhere. You will be stung. But it's all right.
Yeah, well, in the tropical waters of
yeah, mate, in the tropical waters of I don't know, Penryn. I don't even know if that's the coast.
So it seems to be winding down here, ladies and gentlemen. Like we're going to stay on for a little bit longer, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to depart soon. Oh, there are some cheeky 5 o'clock kickoff somewhere. Why? I don't know. All right, Dom. What's the latest game you've ever played? That's a good question. Well, yeah. What's the latest?
I don't think I can give you like specifics, but like probably about. I need a 2 p.m. kickoff.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Like it just seems outrageous that you'd kick off any later. Like you got other stuff to, and also mainly because it's an amateur sport in this country. People have stuff to do on Monday. Let them go home. So I can't imagine waking up.
Imagine
thinking,
just.
Where go, mate?
No, I'm saying if you're an away side, you're not going to be leaving until maybe 8 at the earliest. You know, that's madness to me. You'll get home at 11.
Oh yeah.
If you got if you got a lecture at 9 on Monday, gross. Not what you want.
Yeah. No, I'll be missing that lecture.
Absolutely.
I'm just thinking our game day sort of stuff for Shropshire this year has always been you get to the pitch at 10, you start setting up, we all help with the game day stuff, and then we go get changed and start doing warm ups. But I can't imagine waking up at like whatever 8 a.m. like I usually do, 'cause, and then just spending most of my day doing whatever the fuck I wanted, and then thinking, oh, I've got a football match in an hour. That seems weird. Like, what are you gonna do? It seems strange.
Right, I've just seen. I think the one of the men from Lincoln Colonials, Toby, is watching.
Oh.
Toby, if you are still watching, tell us what are your thoughts on the DMU Staffordshire score. If you are watching, if you'd like to comment, obviously, what do you think? What do you think about that? Because I'm getting spicy. I'm getting spicy armpits. I'm sweating slightly about it. It's not looking. But divisions. You never had spicy armpits before? Yeah, they're getting a bit spicy. Hopefully you still watch. Hopefully you replies, because I'd like.
Oh.
What was it? Had two a day. So Staffordshire beat Huddersfield 62-12, I believe, last week. DMU beat Staffordshire 51. What was it?
6.
51-6. So that's a madness. Staffordshire have managed to turn it around and lose dramatically to DMU. Like, I'd love to know what your thoughts are as a coach, or as coach who's got to go up against that team at some point this season on the 28th. DMU and Staffordshire, to be completely honest.
While we're waiting on his response, Chris, what do you think of two-a-days? Like, I think that they're effective. I think that I love them. I love a two-a-day.
Yeah, I think they're very effective. I think if unfortunately, people have got to go and get educations. That's what they're there for. But if you had the opportunity to do them more, great. Yeah. Realistically, it's a great way to spend the day. It really is. Having a great time playing football.
So you guys do one at Ouse Valley this year? Oh mate, we had a good run at Shropshire. We call it a camp day at Shropshire. Honestly, great time. It's one of those days where like you can really work out a lot of kinks, and you get a full almost game situational scrimmage. It's just the most beneficial training sessions you can get, really, isn't it? Especially if hopefully next year we can do it with another team as well. It's even better then.
Yeah, how important do you think pre-seasons are to Uniball and, to be fair, Britball as a whole?
To be fair, well, to Uniball even more important, seeing as they get just limited games anyway. So those pre-seasons are vital. What's Toby said? So
here we go. This is one of the coaches for the Lincoln Colonials. I've not really looked too much into either team, really. I've been focused on the Colonials, but it's any given Sunday, really. Without speaking for staffs, they could have got injuries in their last game and not gone into this 100%. And he's completely right on all fronts there. Both in the sides of it's any given Sunday and staffs could have been injured. There's a lot of effort put into that game, and also I'm very happy that Toby has given us a very coach answer.
Yeah. I think
it's really good. I love that. I'm not focused on any other team. I'm focused on my team. I'm not focused on them. I'm focused on what we can do specifically. So that's good. Very good. Very good. Very good. But that's it. He's right. There's you can only control so much when you're at training, and that's what teams have to focus on. There's no point looking ahead to
3 games down the line potentially,
Yeah, exactly.
What's front of you, don't you say?
That's like they've not got to deal with at least DMU until, to be fair, they've got 2 weeks to prepare for DMU, and they've got games in between that. So
that's right. We're going to be we're going to have over next week, mate. We're going to have a great time, or we're going to be completely devastated. And
yes,
I don't know.
I know. All in all, I think it's going to be really realistically, as much as we are fanboys for the Lincoln Colonials, I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see how they go about Nottingham. You know, I think dealing with a 10 a.m. kickoff is probably not ideal either. To be completely honest,
by the time we start our show, it may potentially be to an end.
I would hope so with a 10 a.m. kickoff. You know,
so if the show's cancelled next week, you know the Cano's lost. Me and Chris presented.
No, I imagine we'll probably get to that game when it's in the fourth quarter. To be completely honest, so we'll either have a great stream or we'll be a really depressing stream because we'll start off. Yeah, like Toby's completely right. It's really, really not ideal, but luckily it's not too far away. But still,
no, it's only going to Nottingham.
Horrible.
Apparently, Nottingham has really nice facilities, so go enjoy it.
They were at home for us when we played them.
Yeah.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to sign off here at past. But before we do, we're just going to read out the scores that we've got for you, all the full-time stuff, and how we feel, and then me and Dom will give our breakdowns, and then we shall depart.
Do a bit of karaoke. Don't forget the karaoke.
No, we're not doing. No, that's the last. That's the last. That's the last show. That's the last show of the season.
Okay, sorry.
See, now this is another great point from Toby. Plus, we're hoping some of our guys can stay around and watch their gold team and see a high standard of football, because it really is.
That'd be great.
I think that'll be very beneficial. So the new people can see what it takes to be a Premiership side, and when you're at a Div 2 level, I think that is invaluable, to be completely honest. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the Prem South, we had the UWE Bullets beating the Birmingham Lions 52-0. In the Prem North, Leeds Griffins lost to the Stirling Klansmen 32-2. Currently going on, Leeds Beckett Carnegie 22, Durham Saints 14. In the Prem South, still going on. Actually, in the fourth quarter, Swansea Titans 6, Cardiff Cobras 18. Full time in Borders 1 as Hull Sharks lose to the Northumbrian Mustangs 2-10. In the Northern 1 division, still going. Oh, sorry. It's because I'm reading off my phone. Is that better?
Sorry, yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Okay. In Northern 1, still going on. Sheffield Hallam Warriors 30. Manchester Tyrants 46. We've still got no score update for the LJMU Fury versus the Derby Braves. Midlands 1, the Cov Jets versus the Leicester Longhorns. We still have got no score for. However, the Nottingham Trent Renegades lose to Loughborough 20-22. In the Southwestern Div 1, the Bath Killer Bees go up against the Unstoppable Force in the SGS Pride, and the Southampton Stags Reading Knights game. Still no score on. Southern 1, we did have one score update for it, but we've got nothing since. Hertfordshire Hurricanes 6, Sussex Saxons 6. Whilst in that division, the Portsmouth Destroyers versus the Royal Holloway Bears game has been postponed. Southeastern Division 1, Brunel Burners 0, Imperial Immortals 8. Borders 2 down to Div 2. The Edinburgh Napier Knights shut out the Heriot Watt Wolverines 38-0. Sunderland Spartans were awarded a walkover against the York St John Jaguars. The Glasgow Tigers versus Aberdeen Bulls is still a mystery to us as we've got no score on it. The Northern 2 division Bangor Mud Dogs versus the UClan Rams with a very strange 5 p.m. kickoff. Bradford Bears versus Aberystwyth Taranau 4 o'clock kickoff. Still no score on that. Midlands 2, Huddersfield Hawks have forked over a walkover to the Nottingham Green. The DMU Lions 50, Staffordshire Stallions 6. Kiel Crusaders with another walkover have won against the Chester Legion due to injury. In the Southwestern Div 2, the UAE Pellets 6, Bournemouth Bobcats 22, Gloucestershire Gladiators 2, Bath Spa Bulldogs 8. whilst the Worcester Royals Solent Redhawks game in the Southwest Division 2 has been postponed. In the Southern Div 2, the OBU Panthers Winchester Silverbacks game has been postponed. Oxford Lancers, Chichester Spitfires kicked off at 3. We've still got no details on that, whilst the UCL Emperors and Brighton Panthers game has also been postponed. And last, but by no means least, is the South Eastern Division 2. The Kent Falcons and the Greenwich Mariners game that kicked off at 1. We've got nothing on, but the Cambridge Pythons versus Canterbury Phoenix game goes in the favour of Cambridge, 21-6.
It's weird. Like we found that Kent have different uniforms for their team.
Yes,
but we haven't found any scores. So thank you, Kent.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? All right. So, all right, Dom. When looking at these scores, team of the week, who can do better? What do you think?
Well, okay. Team of the week. Oh, you know it. Big Sterling Klansman. Love to see him putting up 32 on the board. I love it. They're going to come back. Like Steve said, they only need to beat the worst team twice, and they're in the playoffs. They're making playoffs. They're winning the whole thing. That's a guarantee.
Bold.
That's a Domson's guarantee, mate. You know what I mean? And then team that could do better. The team that let me down the most, the Staffordshire Stallions. Nah, maybe. Oh well, actually.
No, I mean that's fair enough. That's a fair enough pick.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, yeah, I think I'm going to have to, just because based on how well they did last week, to go from that to only putting up 6 points and getting absolutely battered all day. Yeah, I feel like something must have gone wrong there. So, yeah, that's my well, worst and best, I guess. What about you, Chris? What are you thinking?
Well, something that I never wanted to ever say.
Oh no!
Team of the week for me.
Don't say it.
I'm
moving from the stream.
It's going to be the DMU Lions. I was very high on Staffordshire last week after their huge victory against Huddersfield Hawks, but DMU seems to have found out how to beat them, and they thrashed them even. DMU putting up 51 against Staffordshire. Now the team that I think can do better, obviously I would love to give it to the Cov Jets, but what can we do? For that, I think it is going to be the Birmingham Lions. Again, it's very much the same boat as the Staffordshire Stallions this week. Birmingham dominated last week. This week got dominated. When you're in a division where you're probably going to be stuck with Uwe for a while because Birmingham are good enough to be in the Prem, but not good enough to beat Uwe, you need to figure out some way to get some sort of offense going against them if you want any chance of winning the Premiership. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I hope it's been informative. I hope it's been great. Thank you to everyone who has put in a score. Thank you to everyone who has commented. Thank you to everyone. I hope everyone we've had a couple of injury walkovers today. I hope everyone for those games is doing great. Hopefully you can be back playing next week. Lewis coming in hot, telling us that Sheffield Hallam have once again scored 40. That game is now 46 to 36.
That's a decided in that game.
I think that is a great game to watch. Hopefully you'll join us next week. Hopefully more scores will come in where they're getting slowly better. They certainly are. But hopefully next week we can report on a lot more from Gridiron Hub, from me, from Dom, from us all. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully see you all next week. Enjoy the NFL. Enjoy your Sunday. Try to enjoy your Monday. But we will see you next week. Thank you very much.